asking me?
I don't know if there's like a turning point when all of a sudden, things shift and now you're doing something completely different when you have enough allies. I don't know. I haven't got to that point yet.
Right.
So,
Do you have any more companions?
I don't think so. I don't know what you mean by companions. Someone following me
Your
around?
raven would be a companion.
Oh,
So do you have any other
no,
animals?
just the raven. You can get more animals to follow you.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I got a pigeon.
you can't get one to follow you, but I'll just tell you, it's like this wolf
Oh yeah.
that you're able to acquire, and
Is it the one from?
I seen one in this cash shop or something.
It's not
Huh?
the one from the when you have to kill.
No, it
in
would be.
Valhalla,
It's not. It's
or-
not Fenrir or whatever. It's not Fenrir.
Is that the one you kill? The son
Yes.
of your brother?
It's
or
not
whatever?
that one.
Okay,
Uh-uh.
of
Smite.
Loki?
No. There's like a different quest that you do. You have to actually acquire it by
Okay.
going into your town and then looking around.
Yeah.
And I won't even tell you
See,
guys
like,
how you get it, but
I detoured for a good minute in that game
Yeah.
when the whatchamacallit, the opal vendor opened up.
Did you?
Oh.
You started doing
I
opal
haven't
quests or
figured out
something?
what to do
Yeah,
with
I was
those.
collecting opals and doing opal quests like for a good minute, probably like I don't know, 5 days, because you only get so many dailies a day.
Right.
So I would log on and I would spend like a good chunk of my playtime
Just to
doing
assassinate
those
or whatever.
because they had a freaking mythic weapon and I didn't have any mythic weapons. You
But
guys
they
already have
change.
one, so like I didn't have one, and so I was like, oh, dude, like a nice weapon,
Yeah.
And so I want a good weapon. So I did like a while, and it takes a lot of freaking opals, man.
Yeah.
He wants like 150.
It's like 120 or something like
Yeah,
that. Or
100 yeah, it's a huge
something
quantity.
mad.
And like the missions only give you like 8. you know?
Eight's pretty
So you're
good. I
doing,
got like 5 from one. Like,
yeah, 5. It might be 5 or 10.
yeah, they're
So
pretty
you're only
weak.
getting like 20 opals a day, right?
Yeah.
And then you find some in the world. You're just like, dude, man. But I really wanted a weapon, so I was doing other things. I didn't have OP gear from the beginning like y'all did. So.
Man, that's why I'm playing dice.
You
That's why-
gotta
that's why I'm playing
get-
dice, man.
You don't-
I don't gotta
you don't
worry
have
about
nothing
gear.
to do. I got dice to play. Man.
You don't have Amazon Prime?
I do, but I didn't go on.
You didn't do the
I don't
Twitch
go on
Prime
Twitch
thing.
and click on those gifts. I mean, they just pile up in there, and I just let them sit in there and look at them.
Oh man, you gotta check it every now and again. I'll let you know next time.
I don't know
something,
because
something
usually when I
good
look
pops
at them,
up.
it's lots of games I never play.
Yeah.
Almost always, and so it ended up becoming, like you were saying on PS Plus, like you get in the habit because they're almost always games that I want on PS Plus. The habit continues, but I would look at my Twitch Prime stuff, and it
And
would
you're not
always
really
be
interested.
So it's like
stuff-
Xbox Live. You never add it because it's
yeah,
all
or
junk.
like it's some
Yeah.
some app or mobile game or some obscure game that like I've
Mhm.
never heard of that I will never ever touch or play. So
It
I
is
just,
very
like,
bloated
forget it.
'cause there's so
And
much stuff.
eventually, I lost the.
There's a
stamina,
lot. There's a
to
lot of
check
games that
that.
they
Yeah,
be offering
there's a
on
lot of
Twitch.
junk.
So it's
I-
like
I like free. So if you're telling me that if I just click this button, it's on my account, I don't ever have to like waste my space downloading it or time downloading it, but I just have it. Like there might ever be a
what do
possibility
you click on an
that I would
app or
try it.
something, or do you? Is there how do you check it so quickly? Because it's not
Just on
free.
the
It costs
browser.
me time to remember to do it all.
It's on the browser. I
Well,
always do it.
well because I follow people on Twitter. So they'll tweet out like, hey, like I think like Wario64 will tweet out like, oh, such and such
Oh,
is
see,
available
that's what
on
I'm not
Twitch
doing.
gaming or something.
That's
and I'm
what I'm
like,
not
oh,
doing.
okay. I just
I
click
only
the link.
see it when
I'm
I go
already
to
signed in.
Twitch.com and I'm watching somebody.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm not like following all that stuff. Like I don't got brain space for that right now. You know.
Oh,
what
well,
I mean?
that
So
don't
it
really
just takes
take too
time.
much, but yeah.
I do it every month because there's Smite skins, and I don't really play Smite anymore. But I just do it just because there's
Right, 'cause
always
you want
Smite
those
skins,
skins,
and
yeah.
I don't play League of Legends anymore. But I always get the free skin chests, so I log in once in a while, and I have like 10 chests, and I just pop them all open.
That's nice.
But-
I see.
But that's the only thing I do, just because I know they always do Smite skins every month. So
Yeah, for sure. But like I just click like whenever if I ever see the link, I'll click it, and then I'm already logged into like Amazon and stuff, so it's
Yeah.
just like a quick little scan and look, and you just slide through all the games, and it's like, oh, if you could just click
Yeah.
claimed, like all you gotta do is click the claim button on it,
Yeah.
and it's done. So it's like, oh, okay. And sometimes they'll have something good, like they had like the Destiny 2 pack that was on there, so they gave you like a couple of little
ghost.
resources,
Yeah.
and then like a gun and like a piece of armor or something, and like it was like the XO and all that stuff that were just like exotic, but they ain't nothing special about them, especially with Destiny 2 because they've gimped all those things, like they don't have special perks on them.
yeah,
But yeah, so I mean, if you ever like think about it. You know, just check it every
that's the
once in a
thing is
while
I
because
don't
they
think about
stay
it.
on there like
That's
for a
probably the
couple
reason I
months.
don't think about it. Because I mean, there's there's lots of things to think about, and so I'm not thinking about that.
Mhm.
So it only triggers when I go to Twitch and I see the little crown or whatever, and I
Mhm.
might click on it and see what's in there. But almost every time when I clicked on that and to see what's in there, it's things I never want or never would ever use ever. Like I'm never going to use Smite skins. I'm never going to use Fortnite skins. I'm never going to use any of those things ever.
Yeah.
So I just disregard it because I just always assumed it was trash. But I knew occasionally there's a gem in there, but that gem ain't worth all the time, in my opinion, it takes to constantly check it continually every day or whatever. So I never do it.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't check it every day. But
I don't know how often they do drops.
But I'll let
do
you
like
know
once
if
a
anything
month.
else, drops on there that might be of any interest. Because I don't know too much
Yeah.
of what you playing, but I know like
yeah,
some of the
like
bigger
it would have to
games.
be
I'll let you
something
know.
like that. If you find something dope, then like shoot me a text and then I'll hop on and do it.
Yeah,
Because I'm just not checking it.
but yeah, I will go back to your village because you're probably if you've gotten Valka, you already have like the stuff accessible that I do. And then as you progress through the story, like helping all of the other different kings or whatever with their lands, you know, stuff starts to come into the world. But anyways, you'll get like a quest line that you can follow, and then you'll get a companion out of it, which is the wolf. And the wolf gives you an ability. So there's another ability that you'll find later on in the game if you haven't found it already, which is like a Raven Call, which you'll be able to aim your bow at somebody, press the button, and then your Raven Sennin will come down and bother them. So you could use that as a distraction to get around stuff or whatever. I've never used it.
Yeah, man,
they
we're
don't kill
demigods
it.
in the battlefield, dude. What
Huh?
do you need? We're
Yeah.
demigods.
Right,
I don't know what I need
right.
my Raven for.
Two Spike Lord, you know. But when you have that wolf, man, you can literally aim your bow down at him, call the wolf. The wolf just comes out of nowhere and starts attacking them. They fall, hit the ground. You can
Stomp
run
'em?
over to them, stomp them, and then just start jabbing at them with your godlike spears. Start wrecking like. And it's a nice combo because you're able to like you know, do some hits, do some damage, pull back a little bit, pull your bow out, call the wolf, run at him. The wolf, he gets distracted by the wolf because he sees the wolf coming immediately, and then he gets attacked, hits the ground, you stomp him, do a whole bunch of stabby, back up, but you've already, by doing all those attacks and stuff with him down and stomping him, you've already gotten your fury back up or your rage or whatever it's called. So then your adrenaline.
Yeah.
So your adrenaline's up again. So then it's like
You
he
just
stands
do your
up and you just
combos.
call the wolf
Yeah.
again, and then
Oh,
you just
yeah.
run up. You know what I mean? And
I
so
see. It's a vicious
like
cycle.
you just play around with it, and then you just keep on attacking them and stuff, and then you know, and you can keep on going. So like, I was just running around, and you know those evangelists or whatever, the ones that the lone
Zealots?
dudes, the zealots,
Yeah.
that are on the horses. Like they were just like, you know, one dude was just running around, and I saw he was on the map, so I just took off for him. I didn't know like what level he was. I'm like, I'm about to find out, you know, who this guy is.
Is that the
So-
helmet icons?
Yeah, the little
Oh,
helmet
okay.
with the little crosses on the
I was
face.
wondering what those were.
Yeah, so I ran up on him. Ooh, he 360. Damn, I gotta fight him. So like I'm like 110
right?
or 111. So it's like, okay.
Do you have
I'ma
the
see
slow
what it's
motion
hitting
yet,
for.
Mark? The slow motion dodge yet?
I
That's
hope
in
you
Yellow
have
Tree,
that.
right?
I don't think I picked it, but I
That
think I saw it.
is.
See,
It's
that
like
was-
yeah,
it's like when
that's
you
the
initiate
yellow.
combat, it slows it
Mm-mm.
at first.
It's to the.
It's
It's
if
to the
you do,
left.
if you do a perfect dodge, the world slows.
Oh,
Dude, that's
Ooh,
the one that
Rex.
was game changing for me before the spears. So I was having a hard time fighting those zealots, man. Like,
Yeah.
and I was trying, of course, to take out zealots that were far too high for me.
Right.
But I was like competing with them. So I was like, I can do this. You know, even though they were higher than me, I was like, I know I could beat these guys.
Yeah, because
had the hardest
their
thinking
life is
time
going
fighting
and they're
them.
not too terrible, but it's just that they hit
Yeah.
you and you take so much damage.
But then, like, when I unlock the slow time, when you do a perfect dodge, and I was like, oh my gosh, these guys became a joke easy.
I'm gonna
Like
get
a
that
joke
because
easy.
the spear from
Because
Amazon.
whenever it triggers, your stamina bar fills.
Whoa.
So whenever it triggers, your stamina bar fills.
I'ma get that.
But
I
some
was
of
doing-
those
I was
zealots
doing
get
the-
out
I was
quick,
doing
though.
the bearded axe, the
Yeah,
dual
yeah,
wielding
yeah.
bearded axe before
Right.
the spears,
Yeah,
which were also pretty OP.
you just hack at them.
And like I would do the perfect dodge, you know, and then stop just before my stamina's, you know, drained.
Yeah.
And then he would come out, dodge again, fill it up, and it was just like a vicious cycle, kind of like with the mutt you have.
That's cool.
Now,
And like, oh my gosh, this game became like super easy for me.
now
The
what's,
dodge changed.
I'm gonna get
everything.
that, I'm gonna get
Yeah.
what's nice too is if you go up the melee tree and to the right, there's one that is like
When you parry.
it gives you no, it's like a damn, I had it on the tip of my tongue. So there's one that's like an adrenaline fiend where like
Yeah, I
the
got
more
that
rage
too.
you have, you
Yeah.
hit harder
Yeah.
or whatever. But there's another one on there that gives you like a real nice buff for when you're
I got like
attacking.
almost
I
all the
can't
red and
remember
all
that.
the yellow skills. I haven't done like any blue at all.
Oh yeah, I
The
don't
blue's
have
the
any.
bow, right?
Almost-
Range?
I
Yeah,
don't
the
have
blue.
any.
I haven't done
Yeah.
like any blue tree yet.
Actually, I got like
so
one small
I was
tree.
banking lots of skill points too because I had like I'm like I don't really have. These are getting redundant now. Like
Oh,
once you
yeah.
get like, because I'm like probably I'm higher than you. Like I'm getting close to 200.
Okay, yeah, you
So
way
I
higher
mean
than
that's
me.
like 400, right? You know, getting close to like 300 and something skill points.
So technically, you can
Like,
get everything, right? Eventually.
yeah, you can get everything.
slowly. But
It's like a
surely.
lot of skills, which that was really fun.
That is
But once
cool.
you get up to like around level 200, like I am, like
Yeah,
it gets pretty darn redundant. Like a lot of the skills become a lot.
I think the higher
lackluster.
levels are like 360, right?
I think
I haven't seen
360
anything
is
higher than
I think that is
360.
the cap actually.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
So
that means
after
there
that,
must
you
be
just
like
OP'd it.
600 or 700 little skills to click on. I guess I have no idea. There's
That's
a
a
lot
lot.
of skills, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Heck of a lot.
differences in Valhalla than Odyssey. There's some things that I like they change, and some things I don't like that they change.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. When you're attacking, there's like a certain skill set in the red tree that when you attack and you're in the red, that you gain all that health back. So you can keep on like you can just
I
stay
think I
there.
have that.
You can stay there and just keep on attacking.
I think
And
I
like
might
with
have that. Yeah.
With the spears, it takes like no freaking stamina to attack. The stamina is only used when you dodge. So as long as you keep going in, you can work, dude. If they don't hit that hard, and then with the armor that we have, the what's the name of
I
it?
call it Karingan, but I don't know what
Yeah,
it's called.
Carolingian or something like that.
Carolingian,
Yeah.
I think it's
So
right, Carolingian.
with that one, the lower your health gets, the higher your armor gets.
Yeah.
Like so, it gains.
That's cool.
You can sit
That's
there and
cool.
just like keep taking
yeah,
them
that's cool.
and whatnot. But it's nice. It's a nice little combo, man. You definitely gotta get that wolf, dude. Just go back to your town,
Yeah.
start talking to people, start seeing what's going on, and then do that. I would suggest go to the longhouse
Okay.
for that.
Excuse me.
So, but yeah, hey, welcome back to We Love Gaming Podcast. This is episode 35. And today is cold as hell, bro. Like
Yeah, it
it's
is.
cold,
My
man.
toes are
It
cold
is a
right
little
now.
chilly
yeah,
for us Californians.
it's
My
chilly.
toes are hurting. But yeah.
Yeah, but we here to talk about
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
So what have you guys been playing this week?
All right. So I've been playing Immortal Phoenix Rising.
Whoa,
Oh, you finally got it.
Yeah, I got
Did you get it for the low or what?
it? Well, it went on sale at
35,
GameStop
right?
finally. 30.
Okay, 30. No,
It went on
nice.
sale at GameStop for 30.
Okay.
And so, I got like quite a few points built up. Got gift cards and stuff. So I was like, this is the perfect time to buy this game.
Right.
Like, because I was eyeing it, but last week it was 59. Like it
was
goes
30.
up and down.
Yeah, it
Oh,
keeps
okay.
going to 30 too.
Fluctuating.
For Time Ring. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 30 on
Christmas?
Amazon
Yeah.
or some other site, but I wanted to use my GameStop points and my gift cards. So I was just eyeing GameStop.
Okay.
So it clicked over to 30, and so I swung down there and I grabbed it.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple things. Like the first thing is you can pick either gender.
Okay.
So there is a male skin.
Right,
you can
yeah, I
be.
did see that.
And the other thing is too. What was I gonna say? It started off a little bit strange,
Mhm.
and there actually is a whole lot more combat than I think that it was originally led on by people.
All of the
From
reviews
that I
and
was
stuff
reading.
like
Yeah,
that.
some of the reviews.
It seems simple as hell and like basic.
Like from
That's
a
what
lot
it
of the
seems like
reviews
from
that
the
I was
reviews.
reading, some people did not like the puzzles, and they were making it seem like puzzles are this major, huge part of the game,
Mm-hmm.
and they definitely are part of the game, but they're definitely not like a major, huge part. Like
So is it like Breath of the
it's
Wild
probably
level?
like 70-30. Yeah, dude, it's so.
So the rest
similar to
is
Breath of the
combat?
Wild.
Just
Huh?
simple.
The rest is combat.
Yeah, it's probably like 70-30. Like I'm fighting a lot more than I am doing puzzles.
So 70 combat. 30
yeah,
puzzle.
70
Okay.
combat, 30 puzzles. Yeah,
Alright.
exactly.
That's not bad.
It's not
But
bad.
I actually really, really like it. Like I don't know if it's gonna get to a point like Valhalla when I'm 35 hours in, that I'm a little burnt and I need to take a break. I don't know,
Right.
but I've really been enjoying it. Like it started off a little bit difficult to understand, but like once you really get into it,
Mm-hmm.
and you start really exploring and jumping around to all the different places and grabbing all the different loot and items, like it's been really fun, like pretty darn addicting. Like I'm looking forward even right now, like to go back and get back into that world and play in it. Like I've played Breath of the Wild, and this is very similar, like in so many ways, and almost it's a lot of ways. I don't.
That's what
know.
we
It's a
were
high
seeing,
percentage.
and that's what everybody was
It's a
saying.
high
yeah.
percentage, but I prefer it in some ways better than Breath of the Wild.
Really?
And so Breath of the Wild is the masterpiece because they invented it, right?
Mhm.
I do. I think that they really changed the landscape of open world games
Okay.
because of the ability to go anywhere, climb anywhere, do anything. Games weren't doing that. Like you couldn't climb anything, you know?
Mm-mm.
It had to be specific paths you can climb or go specific areas. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Wasn't Assassin's Creed doing that well before?
No.
Like, what are you saying is the start of it? Like, which Zelda is the start
Breath
of
of
it?
the
Breath
Wild.
of the
Breath
Wild.
of the Wild.
Yeah,
How
Breath
old
of the
is
Wild
Breath of the
started
Wild?
that
Like
right when Switch came
three,
out.
4,
so
3 years ago.
4 now?
Well,
Probably
it was
Three,
it
four.
was it was before Switch, right? It was the
It
the
came
other
out
one,
right
Wii
when
U,
Switch
right?
came out.
It
Wasn't
came
on
out
Wii
for
U?
Wii U and Switch, but it released when the Switch gen was already out.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was a launch
okay. So
title
it
for
was
Switch.
one of those like backwards
Mhm.
compatible joints.
It
that
just
Yeah.
had
came
2
out.
copies. Yeah.
Okay, all right, I got
Yeah,
you.
kind of like, when Miles Morales came out.
Uh-huh.
It
Yeah, yeah.
launched right when the PS5 launched, but it was available on the PS4 too.
Right.
So that's what Breath of the Wild was.
Okay.
But there was no game before Breath of the Wild that you could literally jump and cling to anything, anywhere, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're
No
saying
game was
you're
like
talking
that.
about smooth surface, harsh surface, whatever.
Yeah,
like, you
like
could
you
touch
see a
on
mountain in the
anything.
distance, you can climb that if you want in Breath of the Wild. You can't do that in Assassin's Creed, or you couldn't. This
Yeah,
new
well, I
Assassin's
mean, you have the
Creed kind
barrier.
of now.
That little barrier around the map.
You
So,
couldn't,
yeah.
or a lot of things.
Mhm.
You might come across a mountain in the middle of the map. You can't climb that unless they give you the pathway to climb it. You had to follow the exact pathway, and you or even like Ghost of Tsushima. I remember I'd be running around a big structure trying to find where that path beginning. Spot
Definitely
is.
on Ghosts. I feel like
All games are like that.
I feel like Assassin's
Uncharted
Creed
was like that?
was a good climber, but it was there was like certain things I guess maybe that they tried to stick with like logic or whatever.
couldn't
Like if
climb
the
trees in
surface is
Assassin's
just a
Creed.
straight smooth surface, you're not climbing that. But
not
if it's
climbing
got any
trees
kind
either.
of ridges or something,
I mean, some
Uh,
trees, but
yeah.
for the most part, you couldn't climb just any tree you wanted.
that's true. Yeah,
But in
you're
Breath
still
of the
stuck
Wild,
on
you
some
can climb
trees.
any
on
tree you want.
So,
What I mean is 100%. Do anything, go anywhere.
right.
Like no open world game had really done that
Okay.
until Breath of the Wild.
All right,
Like
I got you.
and I think I see more games doing that. Valhalla has done that almost. I don't know if you guys noticed that,
Oh, absolutely.
but you just find an edge, you can clean. You're like, wow, I can climb
literally
this.
you hold X and just point up.
Yeah, he'll.
There
and
are
then you just
there
like,
are
doop,
some that
doop,
you
doop.
just
It
can't
is
climb,
rare, but it's
yeah.
almost like
But
it's
for the
like
most part,
90+%,
you can't climb anything.
and
Yeah.
Assassin's Creeds were not that high a percentage.
Wow.
Like Assassin's Creeds were always probably like a good 60. Like the majority of things you could climb, but there were lots of things that they just would not let you climb.
Mhm.
Like it wasn't like built into the code. Like it had to be the pathway
Yeah.
that they had built.
Because
into
you
the
can
code.
go against any like rocky terrain, and then you're like putting your hands in the grooves. You're climbing. Just
yeah, you may not even
just
see like the pathway, but you're just kind of
Right, but it's
that's
there, so
climbable,
you like
right.
okay, yeah.
Like Valhalla kind of is also copied. I think,
Yeah.
in my opinion, they copied Breath of the Wild.
I thought the same thing.
Genshin copied Breath of the Wild, and
Genshin definitely.
Phoenix.
did. We already know
Phoenix Rising straight copied Breath of the Wild,
that. Mhm.
and I like that direction. I think that kind of started with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
That's
I could
that's the
definitely see that.
biggest revolution, I think, and like being able to glide too. Like you
Well,
can't
that's
do
an
that in
awesome
Valhalla,
ability.
right? So that's what I mean by just the accessibility to do anything and go anywhere.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
Like
dope.
Breath of the Wild, I think they took it to another level. Most open worlds weren't like that. Far Cry wasn't like that. None of the open worlds that I can think of. Skyrim, you couldn't go anywhere, do anything, right? And it kind of they put some
Yeah,
shackles on you.
Far Cry definitely.
Definitely not Far
was,
Cry because there was no climbing.
Yeah.
But they always had some level of shackles on you, and I thought Breath of the Wild took those shackles off almost completely. Almost completely. I mean, it was like shocking how I'm like, whoa, I could just climb this mountain to get to that spot.
Unless
Normally
it was
you'd have
like
to
a
follow,
puzzle or
like-
something like that you had to
Yeah.
solve by climbing up.
My
or
mind
whatever,
was like
certain
so
pathways.
conditioned, right? Like when you see like there's a quest marker on top of that mountain. All right, so what's the path I gotta find to get up there, right?
Let me just
like-
climb up this wall.
Like my mind was always conditioned that way.
yeah.
Because all games were like that. There was some that was up there for a reason, and they were gonna give you some pathway to get to it.
Right.
All the open world games are like that. But Breath of the Wild, it's right there. I'm just gonna go right now, where I'm standing. I'm just gonna go.
Right.
Like that feeling of like complete freedom and control was like such a I don't know. It hits the core that like certain games just have those moments that are just like, oh my gosh, they gotta take your breath away with something that they do, whether it be going down the water from the lighthouse in Rapture and seeing Rapture for the first time, or opening the vault and seeing the world, just something you've never kind of experienced or had that feeling before.
Right.
Something happens and you never experienced that before. That's what happened with me for Breath of the Wild when I first experienced that.
Mhm.
And so that feeling, that experience, I will always be there. But that doesn't mean other games can't come along and improve right upon that formula. And I think Phoenix Rising in a lot of ways has improved upon that formula. I think the action is a lot more continual. Like, I could go a while in Breath of the Wild and like kind of not find something to do.
Yeah.
But in like Phoenix Rising, I'm always finding things to fight and something to do. Like, it's really kind of nonstop fun.
Okay.
And then I do enjoy the humor too. I do enjoy the humor, and I enjoy the puzzles. The puzzles are just hard enough. They're not like hard that you can't solve them, but sometimes they can stump you a tad. So they're just hard enough to keep you like engaged. And the boss fights are just hard enough to make you feel like you could die.
Is there a hint mechanic in there?
A
For
what?
the puzzles? A hint mechanic?
Hint?
Yes.
No.
Like, you get any hints for
No.
the puzzle if you're
Mm-mm.
taking too long on it?
No hints. Oh, I
Okay.
haven't come across a hint yet.
Okay.
And some of them can be very like, dude, I don't have a clue like what this wants me to do. Like I'm just not seeing it.
Okay.
Like, and over time you figure out like the certain mechanics that puzzles require to solve, and you start looking for those things because they just repeat themselves throughout the world, those
Right.
5 to
Mhm.
6 things, and it starts getting easier. But sometimes like you might have to stand on a platform that lights up fire that lets you shoot your arrow through the fire to hit the target that needs to be on fire, but you might not find that platform for a while. You're like, where the heck is that platform? And you're just, so that can be a little bit annoying. Like the puzzle itself, when I stand on the platform and I shoot, is kind of simple.
Yeah.
But like sometimes finding the start of some of the puzzles can be a little bit annoying. So I don't know if that's a good design or bad design, but that can be a little annoying. But the puzzles themselves are pretty fun. They feel fluid enough. I really enjoy it, man. Like I really enjoy Phoenix Rising.
Nice.
I give it, it's good. It's I don't know if it's a 9 or not, but it's close. It's close to a 9.
Wow.
Like it's
That's
really
surprising.
really fun. I really have a good time with it, but I could maybe see it go on the wayside like Valhalla did for me, where like I want to take a break from it. But right now it's doing what it needs to do to keep me entertained. So I've been
Nice.
enjoying it. So
Okay.
Nice.
and I like
nice.
how the gear doesn't break. That was always my biggest
that was
complaint in Breath
annoying.
of the Wild.
Yeah.
Your gear doesn't break in this game.
That was annoying.
And the gear you find, you have a static attack power that you do upgrade. So no matter what weapon you're wielding, they all hit the same. The only
Okay.
difference is the affix they give you. So it might give
That's
you a
cool.
different affix.
That's
So
really
you find new gear and it gives you a new affix, and so you can swap to that affix.
Like
pretty cool.
poison or something like that, or
Yeah, like maybe if you're holding this weapon, you'll do 30% more damage if you do a perfect dodge. So the perfect dodge is in this
okay.
game too,
Oh
where
yeah,
you slow down time.
yeah.
So that's like huge fun.
That's cool.
So, or an affix might say your swords do 10% more damage. So it depends on what affix you want to use,
Right.
right?
Gotcha.
Okay.
But what's cool is when you find a piece of gear, it has a transmog system. So when you find a piece of gear,
That you
it's
really
not
like.
completely a waste that I don't like
That's
that
awesome.
affix. You can actually change your main weapon to look like the one you just found
Nice.
on all your gear pieces.
Does
So-
it cost or is it
No,
free?
just free.
That's
Just click
dope.
the customize button and switch it over to whatever
Nice.
sword
I
you
like
found
that.
that you want.
Cool.
So
That's dope.
it's neat, man. It's a lot of fun. The Gladian's a lot of fun. Just the same thing. You pick up things like magnetism.
Oh yeah.
It's like a
Their
straight copy,
abilities.
man, in so many ways of Breath of the
Dang.
Wild. But it's not a bad thing because they're a lot of fun. I even think the puzzles, they even have to roll the ball too. I mean,
Oh,
it's
it's
straight
crazy
jockeying,
copies, dude.
Man.
It crazy
Damn.
copies Breath
That's
of the Wild.
funny.
But the puzzles are pretty fun. Like it's a great homage to Breath of the Wild. And like I said, and in some ways, it's even more fun. I think the combat's more enjoyable in the Breath of the Wild. It's a lot of fun. The combat's like a blast. The dodge mechanics of slowing down time, none of that exists in Breath of the Wild. Like those things are really cool. And I have a sword that whenever I do a perfect dodge, I'd get 30% extra damage, and it
Okay.
like stacks. So
Oh,
if I do like a few
keep
perfect
doing it?
dodges and
Ooh.
in a few
Just
in-
obliterate
within
them
the
in one hit?
5-second window or whatever that it clicks,
Yeah.
your damage starts piling up.
That's
Mm.
dope.
And
Nice.
you see your damage numbers, and it's cool,
That's
man.
sick.
It's a lot of fun. I really been enjoying it. It's really cool finding legendary monsters and beasts to kill. Like whenever I come across one, it's like a lot of fun. It's like, oh, dude, I gotta battle that.
That's dope.
And the battle feels really fun and exciting.
Uh huh.
Like I could die in this fight,
So
know?
are there level zones or everything just
There's
like
no
scales
level
to you?
zones.
Is there-
Everything.
so there's no levels. It's just armor.
The monsters get stronger. So like some of the monsters
It
might
scales to you.
change color. No, like as I come into like
So
I
it'd be
think
like an elite
I
or
don't know if
something?
it's zoned. I haven't figured that out yet. I don't know if it's scaling to me. Yeah, they're like legendary monsters you come across that are just like have a more health, hit harder, and they're a different color. So it's more like color coded. And so maybe as I go through different zones, I'll find different color coded monsters that are even more stronger than the previous zone.
Okay.
I don't know, but all I've really noticed is different color monsters are stronger.
Okay.
That's all I've noticed. So
Nice.
it's a win, man. It's a win. You were talking about. I think you'd really have a good time with it. I really have fun with the puzzles.
I like how it looks. Like
and it looks really
I
good.
like the
too,
style
yeah.
of it. I like the humor. It looks like something I would enjoy.
And I thought the
For sure.
humor would wear on me, but it really hasn't worn on me. I kind of enjoy it.
Yeah, I was kind of a
actually pretty
little
funny.
turned off of the game because of the opening
Yeah, I
scene with like
remember you-
Prometheus and Zeus, and I was just like, I
remember
thought
you
this was
saying
gonna
that.
be a little bit more of a more serious game,
Gotcha.
but this seems like everything's gonna be just like a joke or whatever. So
Gotcha.
I was
Yeah.
kind of a little turned off with that, but you know, maybe I'll check it out. I
Yeah.
mean, $30 isn't a
30
bad
bucks
price
ain't
to
bad.
pay.
It's totally.
I'll
worth
probably
30
I'll probably
bucks.
get around to it, you know, once I've
Yeah,
played some
for
of the
sure.
other stuff or whatnot. But I'll definitely keep that on my list.
It's dope finding legendary horses in the wild.
Oh yeah.
Like I found a Pegasus, and you can
Okay.
like
Does it
sneak
fly?
up on them and tame them. Actually, I haven't been able to fly with the Pegasus, but
Mm.
different horses have different levels of stamina.
Oh, okay.
And so like Pegasus had like a max stamina, like
That's
12
dope.
bars, dude.
Nice.
It's like, dude, this guy can run like across the map.
That's sick.
So like, and I've come across another 3-star horse too, a unicorn. So it's like it's just cool. You
That's
find
cool.
all the mythical stuff.
That's
Like
really
I didn't
cool.
even realize that. Like I was just exploring because you get on a rabbit trail. Like I see like a line that you can clearly see was meant to be followed for like a chest box here, a chest box there. Oh, that's a combat chest. Basically, you have to go fight the guys, and then chest unlocks, just like
Oh, okay,
just
yeah,
like Breath
yeah.
of the Wild. Or
Oh,
Genshin.
okay.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of following the path line because I'm having a lot of fun collecting junk.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then I found this horse, right? This Pegasus, and I was like, oh snap! It took me a couple tries because when I went over there first time, they run away. Some of the ones that are hard to catch are jittery,
Oh, okay.
and like they run away. And if they touch the water, they just vanish.
Oh,
So if
okay.
there's water around them, and like
Yeah.
you scare them in the wrong direction, and they run to the water, they just pop, like they turn into smoke.
The
They're
heck?
just gone. I'm like, well, dang.
Okay.
Dude. Did I
Damn.
lose my opportunity to catch that animal, and is it gone forever?
Dang.
So I left and I played. You know, I killed a boss, whatever. And I'm like, I'm gonna go check back that zone. And he was there
They're
again.
back. Okay.
And then I caught him that second time around.
Yeah.
But it's just like really cool things, and I'm discovering all sorts of really neat things all the time that are just like super fun.
Okay.
So yeah, man, it's cool, man. It's really neat.
Nice.
Interesting.
So yeah,
That's
so this
interesting.
week I started off by playing the Tomb Raider game that's free on PlayStation
Okay,
Plus.
nice.
Nice.
So I haven't played a Tomb Raider game in like
Years.
20 years, dude.
Yeah.
I haven't played since like the old ones on PC.
It's new, right?
Yeah, and I was pleasantly surprised with some
Mhm.
aspects, you know. I really like just looking for loot.
Mm-hmm.
I love just like trying to leave no stone unturned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the first little dungeon, it kind of made me upset. I didn't look it up, but there was a chest that I couldn't figure out how to unlock. And I was
Mhm.
like freaking, I was like,
Scouring it, huh?
and I just could not figure it out. I was like, is this, I think you needed a lock picks or something.
Mhm.
But dude, I could
Oh,
not,
like a piece of gear that you
freaking-
didn't have yet that could pull a wall down or something.
I could not figure
Yeah.
it out. So I was like,
Mm.
man, like, where do I get lock picks? But the story's kind of cool. I mean, the story's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The parts I don't like is like some things are super on rails to the point where I was literally just pushing forward. Like there's a scene with,
It's just a big action scene going on.
yeah, like there's a scene that it looked epic. Like when the flood comes, when you steal that relic,
Mm-hmm.
and then the town starts flooding.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, all I was doing is pushing forward in X. I was just spamming X,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, okay,
Which is like the run or something to sprint
It's like-
faster or what?
yeah.
Okay.
And I was I don't know. It was just that was kind of throwing me off. Because it looked epic, like crazy things were going
Mhm.
on, but literally nothing was going on. I was just pushing forward. So I didn't like that. I wish I was like actually.
You kind of discovered the flaw there because I'm sure a lot of people probably feel adrenaline,
Oh, okay.
and so they're feeling panicked as they're moving through. But you probably noticed, oh wait, actually, I can
I
just
just
move
hold
forward
this
and I'm
and
okay.
like good.
Yeah.
like nothing actually is in danger.
Yeah.
But like but maybe they thought that everything falling down around you triggers, right?
Gotcha.
A fear response from the player.
Or they just felt like, oh, let's not make this one a scene. Let's just make them do something. Dang,
I don't know, but
inspired.
that was like throwing me off,
Yeah.
honestly. So then I was checking OfferUp for games, and I saw someone selling Assassin's Creed Origins, which I love like Egyptian style. So
Mm-hmm.
I offered the dude $5 because he had the game up there for like 2 months,
Hmm.
and he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, $5 for Origins? That's a really good deal. And I was like, when can I come pick it up? Then he never responded again. So I was like, all right, well, let me just see. I was like, like I haven't played an Assassin's Creed game since the first one. And the first one I quit on that scene where you have to like maneuver through people in a certain way and not hit anybody. And I couldn't do it. So I turned off the game.
I remember that. I remember that.
I was like, what the heck?
I remember that.
And I was
That's
looking
funny.
it up, and everyone's like, I don't know. But I was like,
You couldn't do it, huh?
I think I borrowed it from a friend. I don't remember, but it was the
Okay.
first one, and that was like the only Assassin's Creed game I ever played for like 10 minutes. So I was trying to get into a new one, and I know Ray, Sir Knight likes Assassin's Creed and the new
Mhm.
style, so I was trying to give it a try. So that guy ghosted me, and then I just searched for Assassin's Creed, and some guy was selling a brand new copy for 30, and I was like,
Valhalla?
Valhalla sealed
Good
for
deal.
30. So I asked him, can you deliver the game, and I'll give you 30. And he's like, yeah, I'll deliver it to you right now. So he came and dropped it off. I bought it.
He dropped it off. He came
Uh,
to you, huh?
Yeah, so I was only
like
gonna
DoorDash, man.
I was only gonna buy it if he dropped it off because I was just feeling lazy in that moment.
Yeah.
So I started playing Valhalla, and I do like the openness. Like
Mhm.
that is freaking awesome. And I do think Breath of the Wild the whole time. Whenever I'm scaling a mountain and I'm just like holding on and like
Yeah.
I love that.
And there's no stamina bar in Valhalla.
That's what I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
you can
But
go really
it
nice.
Yeah.
seems super OP because you could just be like,
Yeah.
literally hold X.
It is OP.
And then you go wherever you
yeah.
want
Yeah.
for as
See,
long as you want.
See, Odyssey and Origins wasn't quite that free.
Got you.
Like, it's pretty free because it's an Assassin's Creed game, but it was never quite that free. Like, clearly they've copied Breath of the Wild and Valhalla
Yeah.
more than they ever have in the past. You
Yeah.
know?
I'm trying to follow the story because normally I don't follow stories in games. Like
Mhm.
historically, this is something new for me
Mhm.
to like try to read, figure out what's going on. So the thing that sucks is the audio is buggy as heck. It could just be me. It could be my like maybe on the PS4 it doesn't run as good. But dude, or I think you're saying the audio is.
I
clipping.
got it on the Xbox Series.
They'll
X,
just stop
but
talking.
Oh,
It's the video though. Like
I don't think that's
like
happened to me.
he'll talk, but like his lips just stop moving, and then like he'll start a new sentence, and then his lips will move, and it's like.
So for me, it's two things.
inconsistent.
He'll just stop talking. Like I'll be trying to like understand what's going on, and then for 10 seconds, I'm like, wait, what's going on? Is my thing frozen? And then all of a sudden he'll be like, ooh, he'll just start talking again. I'm like, that's weird. And then his lips.
Ooh.
But the times when I know it's happening for sure is when the dude is just there, lifeless, like just chilling, like moving.
But-
I'm like, what's going on?
Huh,
and then
that's
he'll just
never
start talking
happened to
again.
me, actually.
Wow,
That
that one's
Yeah.
never happened
I
to
don't
me.
know about that.
That happens
Hmm.
once, at least once or twice every 30 minutes. That
Maybe
I've been
that's a
playing.
last gen problem. I have no idea. Yeah.
But that's annoying. That's really annoying,
Okay.
dude. Because it happens for like a
especially
string
because
of like
you're
10
trying to
seconds.
listen and trying to follow, right? Yeah.
So luckily there's subtitles. I can kind of read it, but it kind of throws it off. Like, kind of throws the
Mhm.
the moment off. So that's kind of bugging me a little bit. But it's awesome. It's honestly an awesome game.
Mhm.
I just got to England maybe like a couple hours ago. So the game really opened up for me
Mhm.
Mhm.
because I started to explore everything in
Norway.
Norway.
Right.
But
yeah, I didn't do that.
like that
I
first
did.
area
Yeah.
you're at, I picked up everything I can do.
You were doing what
I
your
don't think I
father-in-law
got.
did.
I don't think I got everything.
Just that
but I
first
was
little piece
definitely
of the map.
searching around for
Right.
quite a bit, and then I came across the dude in the cave. Do you come across
Yep.
him?
Fafnir.
And
Or-
I was trying to fight him, and I was like, oh, I can't beat this dude.
Really?
Like, I was getting wrecked. Like, I was only like,
Yeah.
like really low in power level and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I know I'm obviously not supposed to be over here.
That's where you get
so
the spear.
Let me go ahead
Yeah.
and go back. Yeah, I didn't beat him. So I came across him when I was like.
See, I
like
didn't find
5
that
or
cave 'cause
7.
I didn't do that.
And so I was like, okay, I need to just keep progressing through the story
Yeah.
and whatnot. But I'm definitely gonna go back and wreck him with my 2 spears
Yeah,
right in his face.
I,
Yeah, you kill him bad.
the first time I fought him, I did die. The
Mhm.
second time, I equipped because I thought like you could. The parry is weird when you dual wield,
Mhm.
but when you put on the shield, dude, you're
Yeah.
unkillable.
That's what I did for the first part of my game too.
I
the
was
shield.
dual wielding
was
axes
carrying
the
all
whole
the
dang
time,
time.
man. You know?
Yeah, but the shield is OP. So Fafnir, literally, whenever he did his like his flurry of throwing.
His flurry,
I
yeah.
just held the shield, and at first I just stayed back with the bow, and I used all 13, 14 of my arrows on his
Yeah,
weak spot.
right.
Because the thing is, he ran back, so I just went, pew, pew, killed him halfway, and then I charged on him with the shield, and it was a joke. It was very easy. But the first time he like annihilated
Hammered
me
you, yeah.
Yeah.
because I couldn't get past the flurry of arrows. Like I was trying to dodge.
Yeah, that's one of the recommends. Everyone always recommends going and killing him first because you get a spear. So everyone really
Yeah.
recommends like that's really what you need to do first. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I
didn't
said,
either.
I was trying to rush to get my Assassin's Blade, man, because this is
Yeah,
Assassin's
so-
Creed, and I've
But
always
what's nice
played 'em.
is you can always go back to Norway. You know what I
Yeah.
mean to
Yeah.
get that weapon. Is that
Yeah,
supposed to be a mythical
exactly.
weapon or something?
Oh,
No,
you can
it's just a good
upgrade.
spear.
You can
Oh,
upgrade
okay.
it.
I think it's a
up.
speed.
Well, anything
gives
can
you
be
speed,
mythical,
I think,
but
right?
yeah.
Increases
So
speed or something?
it's when you're surrounded by 3 or more enemies, it increases your critical.
Oh,
so it's
that's
okay.
Sweet, man.
Yeah, it's
But you kill things so
I
fast.
found
that,
yeah,
it
I
doesn't
found
matter.
one that increases your speed
that's the
with
one.
each attack. Like you
Oh,
just keep
okay.
going.
Yeah,
in,
that's
it
the one I
increases your
have.
Speed. Yeah.
That's the one
Gotcha.
I have. Yeah.
So that was just like some basic,
Yeah.
gray one or
but
whatever.
your
or
but your
white
but your
one I found.
Calingian one I think increases speed too.
that one's ability power. So whenever you
Yeah.
dodge, your ability power gets buffed.
Oh, okay.
So you just reminded me because I'm gonna go back in the skill tree and get the thing that slows the time when you
Mhm.
perfect. Because I
Dang.
just
Yeah, that's a good
got
combo.
I just got another spear that's whenever you dodge, it increases your speed. So
That's
you're like
the one
super
I think
fast.
I have.
Oh.
I think that's the one.
So I have that
Yeah.
one. Plus I have when you dodge, you get your ability power. So if I get that
That's a
plus
good
the
combo,
slowdown
yeah.
time, because I just got an ability where like you like jump in the air and then you like charge down.
Oh, that's
The
the one I use
Val-
all the
Valkyrie,
time. Valkyrie
Dude.
wing.
something.
Dude,
That
that's
thing's
the one I
so
use
OP.
Yeah.
all
Anytime there's a
the
yellow
That's
dude with a
nice.
shield, that's all I do. I
Yeah.
go up.
Dude, I
slap
have
him,
another
stomp
one
him,
too, man.
and he's
I have
dead.
another ability that I think I don't know what it is exactly. But I do something and it refills my stamina.
It's-
So I just keep doing Valkyrie slams, dude.
Oh, really?
Like over
OP.
and over
Hmm.
again. I can't remember
I'm
what
telling
it
you,
is,
man. When y'all
but-
get the
but it's
wolf
OP.
companion, it might change. I'll use that. I'll
Dude,
use that Valkyrie
I'm
thing,
so
but the wolf
OP, dude.
companion
No,
puts
because
it
dude, like
work.
a yellow comes along, I do the Valkyrie slam, he falls on the ground, I
Stomp
stomp him,
him,
and then
he's
like
dead.
he's dead.
Yeah, maybe
I
one
don't
hit.
need no wolf, dude.
Yeah.
Like literally, I see a yellow, I
Mhm.
fly in the air, I smash him down, he's on the floor, so I run over to him and I stomp him, and the fight's over.
It's easy, man.
Mm.
Like it's that much.
Well,
of
I'm
a
definitely
joke.
not that strong yet, so it's still beneficial for me. But yeah, I'm not at the 200s.
Yeah,
and some
I'm not in
power
the
level
200s
yet.
either.
I'm
I
only-
got
you said you were
close.
at
I'm only
200.
31, but
I'm
fighting
just
stuff
saying-
is easy.
You see that?
Fighting stuff
But you
is
haven't done that.
really
You haven't
easy.
Valkyrie slammed someone and then go over there and stomp them too. You need to do that, and you'll see.
'Cause
it
I
you
pop
knock-
haven't.
up.
Dude,
No,
'cause you
because
knock
most of
them
the
down.
time
The Valkyrie
I
knocks them
Valkyrie
down
slam
every
and then
time.
I keep attacking.
It's really
So
good
maybe
with
that's
shield.
why,
Yeah,
'cause I'm
that's why.
attacking and bringing them
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
really good with shield people. Because the only people that I can't just spam is shields.
Right.
Because so I'll just Valkyrie slam, stomp, and then one hit and they're dead.
Yes,
It's
that's what I
easy
do too.
combo.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
It's really easy.
You guys
Uh,
have some buff for like stomp?
No, just stomp.
It just does a
Okay.
ton of damage.
Cause
Yeah,
I'll
that's
stomp a
what I was
dude
just
and it's just like
Yeah.
a little chunk. It's not that
No,
much. Like
stomp-
stomp ain't wrecking people. For
Really?
me.
Stomp is like a
Stomp
heavy
is-
attack,
yeah,
essentially.
stomp
Dude, it
is
does a lot.
hard.
It's like equivalent to a heavy
Stomp
attack.
It's hard,
And it takes
man.
no stamina. It's just
Uh-huh.
R3. Boop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like my
whenever I
wolf,
see-
my wolf does more than
Dude,
stomp.
whenever I
Yeah.
see a stomp opportunity, I'm just going around, man, stomping everybody.
He's just busting heads.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
dude.
it's like they're dead once I stomp them once.
It's like a free.
crazy.
Yeah. But
Anyways, that's really interesting.
But yeah, the game's cool so far. But I was just trying to figure out the story. But that's why I asked you guys earlier. I said,
Yeah.
do you just like go and pledge your allegiance to other people and then raid? And is that all you do?
Dude, for a while
Yeah.
there,
And you're just doing the allegiance quests, like the whole quest line. to
dude,
get
for a
them.
while
So-
there,
Okay.
I was forgetting how to progress a storyline because I pledged my first allegiance and I kind of went and did that, and then I was doing like quests in the zones,
Oh, and you forgot you have to pledge
and then
your
I
allegiance
was
to a new
doing like
place.
and then I
Okay.
was like doing other things. I'm like, dude, I've done all my quests. What the heck am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
And I
pledge your
totally
allegiance.
forgot that. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, do I have to go all the way back to my longhouse?
You got to
and
go to
talk her
Ranvi.
again?
Yeah.
Like, because most games will like trigger a quest to take you back there,
Yeah.
but
Well-
it doesn't do that. You have to physically like remember to do that.
Well, there is a quest marker that will pop up on the longhouse that says go speak to Ranvi, and
Mm.
then when you go speak to her, then she, you wrap up that quest or
Yeah.
whatever for the other
Yeah,
thing, and
I
then
wasn't.
you claim the
I wasn't
territory.
thinking that. I
But
was
like
waiting.
immediately
Yeah.
after I claim the territory, I just go and talk to her again, and then I go and I,
I think
mark
that's
a new
what it was.
territory.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I
Yeah.
left.
Okay, yeah.
'Cause
I
had
literally
things
just
wanted to
stay
do.
because I'm gonna
I
yeah
didn't
because
do
I'm gonna
that.
forget just like you guys.
And
I was
forgot,
doing
yeah.
one mission and it was a mission where you had to like find somebody, and there's no actual markers on the map, so you have to like go into this location that they kind of told you about, or use Senin, and then see kind of where the blue circle is, and then go there. So like I forgot, and so like I had stopped the game right there when I had to go find somebody, and I left. And then when I came back to play, I forgot. So I was like, oh, what should I do? Oh, I'll go over here and just search. And then I was like, oh shoot, this quest says I was supposed to like search over here. So I was like, I guess I gotta go back eventually.
Yeah.
But I did some other stuff, and then I eventually ran back to it. But
Yeah, but one thing I do like about the game is the side quests. I think they did they're really well done.
Quite
One,
cool.
they don't take color to your quest log, and I like that. And two, they're kind of like sometimes you got to figure out what you got to do. Sometimes they're obvious, like I found some guy named Axehead.
Yeah,
And-
I found that guy too.
And there's that dismembered guy right next to him, and he's like, "Oh, my head hurts. Is there something on my head?" And you pull the
Yeah,
axe
yeah,
out, and
yeah.
he dies.
You
That's
get a
what-
wep- and you got a weapon
Right.
from it.
yeah,
yeah, you
you know,
got a
that's
little
cool.
axe.
I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, cool." And then there's ones where like there's like a girl and she's by herself. She's like, "Don't touch the tree. My dad's about to come." And I'm like,
the leaf.
"Let me just hit the tree, the arrow, the leaf down, because why not?"
Did you find the
Yeah.
one with the manure all over the hut?
Manure, not yet,
Uh-uh.
but they're
The
funny.
manure over the hut.
Yeah, dude. I was just exploring, right? And I come across a home, and there's a woman out there. She's like tending to the pigs or whatever. And then there's a boy. And she's like, "Oh, my life is so terrible. I'm sorry, son. I brought you into this world in this stinking shiz pile or whatever." And you go in there and you start talking to him. And come to find out, their father, he believes himself to be like a heroic, legendary hunter.
Uh-huh.
And he believes the way that he gets his legendary powers is from rubbing
Feces on him.
pig poop all over his
Ugh.
body. And so he won't get rid of any of the feces around the house.
That's gross, man.
And so, like, you have to get him to bathe. It's like the weirdest quest line, dude.
Okay.
But, like, it's totally not Assassin's Creed. Like, some
Yeah.
of the quest lines feel, they're trying to copy, like, Bethesda or something.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
was gonna say.
Fallout,
Like
definitely.
with the
Yeah, dude.
randomness of them. Like, they're just kind of quirky and silly, or like Witcher is kind of like that, too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, it's not Assassin's Creed, man. Like, you come across the funniest little
Yeah,
quest.
because I was just playing Fallout, so it kind of gave me that vibes, like you're saying. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I like it.
Odyssey's
Yeah.
not like that.
And like the first in the first one, there's like some lady, and she's like, oh, whoever finds my necklace, so you're swimming through the water.
Right. There was
So-
that one dude that was sitting there looking around on the lakeside, trying. I'm gonna find this. I'm gonna find this.
So yeah, they're funny,
Yeah.
So I like that a lot, but
Mhm.
I think I'll run out of steam soon if literally I'm just pledging allegiance and then raiding, pledging allegiance.
You're doing the quests, so you can't look at it as like you're just pledging allegiance. You're like every time you pledge an allegiance to an area, there's like a whole
Quest line.
like 5 or 6 quests that
Yeah,
you're
and they
doing
have their own
over there.
storylines,
Right.
and some of them are pretty interesting, like that I've done that are kind of fun.
Did you
like-
find Oswald? Did you do
Yeah, I liked
Oswald?
Oswald's quest
Oswald's
line.
is pretty
that
cool.
was a pretty cool quest line. Like I
Right.
enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
Like so, yeah. I mean, yes, you are essentially doing that, but,
Okay.
but
As long as
right.
as
like,
long as
the
it's
quest
fun,
lines are different.
as long
Mhm.
as it's fun when I do the allegiance to each side, I'm gonna
Mhm.
be cool.
Like
Yeah.
what I'm doing right now is like a murder mystery. So like I'm collecting clues and learning about things, right?
Are you
So-
talking about
The king died or whatever, and you have to go and you like it's kind of like detective mode.
Oh, okay.
Have you
That's
done that?
No, there was
Okay.
another one where there was a traitor in her village. I think it was with Soma or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I did that
and,
one,
and
too.
you have to find
Yeah, the
the
traitor.
person. Yeah.
What I'm doing, it's like so it's like changed a little bit of like I hadn't really done that yet.
Yeah.
Where I got to go around like finding clues and find like what
That's cool.
happened. So
Right.
That sounds cool.
It's pretty cool.
But yeah, overall, I'm happy with the game.
Mhm.
So I'm excited to play it more, and yeah, so far it's a good experience with Assassin's Creed. I definitely want to get Origins though, just because I was watching videos of it and I love the scenery. Because for me, that's part of the game. Like
Yeah.
when I was in the first Norway, I did not like the snow.
Like I know you will like Origins, but I'm telling you, you really should get Odyssey, dude.
Odyssey, huh?
And I think Odyssey's like $14 right now in the
Okay.
PSN store.
Cause dude, I was like really cold this week in my house. So when I was in the snow, it wasn't doing it for me. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, I'm like legit cold, and I just
Dude,
want to get
the
out.
reason
of this
why I
place.
say Odyssey is because of the ship combat. Like Origins doesn't have that. So
I-
it's like a whole
I just like the
aspect of the
setting,
game
dude.
that you won't
I
have.
just like
yeah,
the
I know.
Egyptian.
But like
He
with
might
Odyssey,
not
you
be
kinda
as
get-
big a Black Flag fan as
But
we
you
are.
never played it.
I don't
though.
even know what ship
Yeah, doesn't
combat
even
is.
know
So
even know what it is.
I think
I'm
if
just saying,
anything, you should try
it's
to
like-
go on OfferUp and see if you can find Black Flag.
you can
and
find
just
Black
scoop that.
Flags for
Screw it up
nothing.
for $5.
Yeah,
Okay.
you might
Actually-
get it for $1.
So
Yeah,
I
but-
do. All right. So I do have in
But
PlayStation Plus.
Odyssey's better though.
In PlayStation Plus, I actually do have a Black Flag. Like it's like a DLC to Black Flag. It's called.
Oh yeah,
Is that one any good? It's like
I didn't play it.
okay,
I
it's like a
don't-
spin-off of Black, but it's called Black Flag something.
Oh, okay. It's the one where it's the black character.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I just really think you
okay.
should get Origins, man. I mean Odyssey, because like I said, it's like 2 games you get. You get the ship combat half of the game, and then you get like the fighting half of the game.
So is the ship combat cool, like World
yeah,
of Tanks kind of
really
thing?
fun. I think yeah,
They-
it's like exciting like that. Like it's you fight different than World of because you're not in a tank.
Yeah, but I mean,
But-
it's like a
yes.
specific combat, like
yes,
we're like
you're
jousting
like,
kind
yes,
of
you're
thing.
like jousting. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And you're like trying to get position, and you're trying to line up your shot. Just like World of Tanks kind of thing. And then once the ship gets low enough, you board it and you jump on the ship, and you do melee combat, and then you collect all the goods and stuff from the ship.
Can you upgrade your ship also?
Yeah.
Like get more
Yeah.
cannons and all that stuff,
Yeah.
just like Black Flag?
Yeah. just
That
like
sounds
Black
sick.
Flag.
That
Yeah.
sounds cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do like Assassin's Creed. I'm a fan. So once I run out of steam on this game, I'm definitely gonna pick up a cheap copy of Odyssey or Origins, whichever I find.
There are some
For
things
cheap.
that I like Odyssey better than Valhalla at. There's some really cool things about Valhalla. Like I really do like the mythical aspect of it, like you were talking about. Like that is dope. Like there's some really cool things. Like you haven't even seen some of the cooler
Yeah,
things in
I'm
Valhalla.
Barely scratching the surface.
But Odyssey is really neat too because I prefer finding a piece of gear that's a static power level rather than upgrading that piece of gear higher and higher. I'd
Yeah.
rather just search for the legendary gear and it be legendary rather than just finding a piece of gear and I have to make it legendary.
Right, yeah, like
know?
like the Carolingian gear or whatever, it's
Yeah,
already
you got it
mythical. I mean, you can
legendary,
still
yeah.
upgrade it some more, but it's
Right.
already mythical.
See,
so
in
you didn't
Audi-
have to invest in all that other stuff.
Right.
Like,
And
yeah, it makes the value of it seems a little bit better, and it does.
exactly.
I do believe that there are like better perks and stuff like that for those weapons
Because,
that
see,
are already
even-
mythical when you get them.
Even Excalibur, I think, starts off. You have to level it up. I think.
It starts basic.
I think it starts basic.
Well, that would defeat the whole
I'm
purpose.
pretty
of
sure, dude.
Excalibur,
I'm
man.
almost positive.
That would.
You have to level it up.
especially like Thor's hammer. That
Yeah,
like,
you have to
those
level
better
those
be
up, man.
mythical, man.
You have to level them up to mythical.
Damn.
Where in Odyssey, if you find the cool piece of gear, it comes legendary,
That's dope.
right?
Okay.
And another thing too, when you killed like a zealot in Odyssey,
Yeah.
they had like a sweet piece of gear on them too that you wanted to get. So you were
Okay.
like super incentivized to want to like do that
Go kill
assassin's tree.
Yeah.
Where in Valhalla, I
You're
don't
not
really
getting
care about
anything.
the assassin's tree, man. Like, you know what I'm talking about? I'm jumping on the assassin's post yet.
Yeah.
And you have like the assassin's board where you got
I just got all the people, and I have to go kill the people. I didn't know
Yeah.
those
Okay,
were
but
the icons.
do you like? Are you just killing the zealots and then moving on? Do you ever revisit the assassin's post?
I do, and you
Okay,
drop
you
things
drop
off
off your
things
stuff.
off,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm turning those
alright,
But
because
I'm
you do get
talking-
items for dropping
Yeah,
off.
but I'm
things.
talking about like in Odyssey, I was so invested. Do you play Odyssey, right?
I have not.
Oh,
I
you
don't
haven't
have
played
Odyssey. No.
Oh, okay. Damn, dude. Like I was so invested in that. It's like very similar. They're like the exact same thing. You have
Right.
the assassins map, and you have
Mhm.
guys that are blacked out, and you got to get clues to
Mhm.
find
To find out who they
to
are
unlock
or
them
come
and kill
across them or
Right.
whatever. Yeah.
I was so invested. Like I was doing all that work. I was like, oh, this city and that location, there's a girl with this so and so. I go to the city and hunt for that person to find that clue.
That's
Oh,
tight.
Like I
Okay.
would take the time that
Because they
tedious
had
work,
an item that you
because
really
I wanted to
on them.
find these guys because I knew as I unlocked them, they had dope pieces of gear and item on them that I wanted. And so I was like super invested in trying to find those things.
That's tight.
This is not like that.
Okay.
Dude, something going on.
Sirens
man.
going
yeah,
on here.
something.
Yeah,
Anyways,
that was one.
This doesn't have that. So like I've been like totally. I was like when I unlocked the Assassin's boots for Valhalla, I was like, oh yeah, finally I get to do that again. Like Odyssey, and it's not the
They
same.
don't give you
Why?
that.
I don't know why they did
Damn.
that.
I was hearing that the diamond shaped runes that you can never
Yes.
find.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're like
those- the
really
square
rare.
ones?
Yeah, so like in the
Yeah.
Carolingian gear, right? There's that rune spot.
Yes.
I have yet to
I
find
haven't
either.
one.
found any
I haven't
either.
found one either.
So they're really rare, and I guess like certain zealots may or may not carry
Oh.
those diamond shaped
interesting.
runes. And you also can get them from like raiding like certain areas, like different spots. You might find one, but I heard that it's a good chance that a zealot could have it. But I've killed like 4 or 5 of them, and I don't have anything yet. So
it
it's
was
just
so
like,
much
damn,
fun, man. Like in
They
Odyssey,
give you runes, but just not a diamond. So I think it's probably on RNG.
Hmm.
it was so much fun in Odyssey, man. Like, you find your target, and he's like a captain of the guard, right? He's one of the cult members.
Yeah.
And so you go and you track him down, and he's in like a fort, and it's like full of enemies. And it was so much fun, man, like meticulously and methodically, assassinating your way to him and then killing him and then getting rewarded with
That's
that
tight.
sweet piece of gear.
For sure.
Like this just doesn't have that. This is just, like I said, you're a demigod on the battlefield and you're just like slaying everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I kind of wish I didn't claim the armor early on, because maybe it made me
it
too
does
OP.
that. It does
Because
that.
the
Yeah.
chase
Yeah.
is part of the fun, obviously.
Yeah, that is.
And
part
I
of the
haven't
fun.
been able.
Yeah.
I haven't needed to worry about gear yet.
Mhm.
I'm just like using the stuff I had. I'm not
Yeah.
upgrading it because I'm only upgrading the weapon, because I'm like, I'll probably use this over time.
Have you
But
come across legendary animals yet and fought them?
No. I haven't.
Dude, you haven't?
No.
Dang.
But I've
But
I've been
it's
looking
also
for my
a letdown.
hunter.
It's also a letdown too, because in Odyssey you had the legendary animals too,
Uh-huh.
and they were so much fun. Like I would hunt those down too, and like it would be like a legendary boar or a legendary elk or whatever.
Yeah.
And I kill them. I take the hide back to the person who gave me the quest, and they
You
give me
get
a
an
legendary
item.
piece of gear.
Okay.
And it was like legendary. It was always like a high legendary piece of gear.
Right.
And so I was always out looking for the tiger or whatever, all the legendary animals from Greece
Mm-hmm.
and Athens. And I was like, just like having a blast. In this one, I find legendary guys, and there is a guy that gives you open up the hunting post.
No, I couldn't
Not
even
yet.
find it. I was looking for it, but I couldn't find
Okay,
it.
well,
to
if you
open it
unlock the
up,
hunting
but-
post, then you get the thing of all the animals you can hunt.
Right.
Mm.
But he doesn't really give you any info on how to like find them.
Okay.
But when you find them, I found a couple of them. Like first, I found like these wolves, and they're legendary wolves,
Uh-huh.
and I killed them, and they were pretty tough. And all I get is like a trophy head. Like you don't get nothing.
so you can put it in your town.
Oh,
yeah,
in your room.
You,
You
put
put it in your
it.
room.
You put it. I don't know where you put it.
Mhm.
You hang it up
Like the-
somewhere.
Okay.
But it's like, man, dude, in Odyssey, I got a dope piece of gear. Like a piece of gear to put on my chest, or a sword, or a bow, or some type of dope weapon, a dagger.
Yeah.
Not in this game. And so I don't know, man. I don't know why they changed the direction of the gear so much in this game. Like it's cool in its own way too,
Yeah.
because it is cool. Like no matter what, that's a good idea. I think like no matter what piece of gear I find, I can make it legendary.
But maybe they should have
But-
some pieces that are way more epic.
But they
than
should. That's what I
others.
think. They should have had like a combination of the two.
Yeah.
Where like if I find Excalibur,
It's
somehow,
maxed out already.
That
It's
should
not
be
just
like
maxed out, but it
something
has like
that's
dope affects that are a
beyond,
little
yeah.
bit more powerful than like a standard mythic weapon that I upgraded myself.
Right,
Like
right.
that would be neat, and they just kind of threw that out the window this time.
But yeah, so is that all you've been playing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what about you?
I did play some Valhalla. I mean, we've been talking about it for a while, so I won't even go into to all of that stuff. But one game that I did decide to try out was on Thursday. Medium came out for
Nice.
Oh, so you tried
Xbox
it.
Series
Okay.
X.
Nice.
So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and sit down. I had pre-downloaded it already, because it was on Game Pass.
Nice.
And so I checked it out, and it's not bad, but it's kind of
Medium.
semi boring. Yeah, it's
Medium's
like
very medium, right?
yeah, I would probably it piques my interest at maybe like the 6 or 7 maybe.
That's still
'cause
pretty
it looks-
decent.
It looks cool.
I was expecting
Um,
9s, man.
Yeah, it should be a 9, but I think it's just because it's no combat. So think of like Resident Evil 3, 2.
Okay.
That type of thing where you have like a still shot and then you're just moving through the shot.
Mm-hmm.
And so like you can only look in the room at one angle and you're just
Gotcha.
moving through it in that one angle. You have no weapons at all. The fact that you're literally looking at 2 worlds at the same time and then trying to maneuver through both of them. So like you might be looking at the bottom world, which is like the dark
And you're
world or
running into something
whatever,
on the
but you're
top
running
world.
into something in the
Right.
top that won't let you move or whatever, and you have to like
Line them up.
solve the puzzles and stuff like that. So I mean that stuff is kind of cool because there's like little puzzles and things like that you have to kind of figure out, and like okay, like I gotta go out of body to get over to here and then touch this, and then there's like light shadows and stuff like that you play with, and you're solving this like mystery.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is a horror mystery
Mhm.
game or whatever. So it's like okay, but I was never really a big fan of like the Resident Evil 3s and stuff like that.
Same.
Just because of that
That's
that
one reason
play
why
style.
I never got onto it because
Yeah.
it wasn't my alley. But you're right; it's free on Game Pass.
Right. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
at least check it
Yeah,
out
for
and
sure,
get
for
like an opinion of it.
And it's the
whatnot,
first
you know.
Series X exclusive.
The first
First
one.
one.
Yeah.
So they
Props
finally got
to-
You
one.
know, so
Which
I
is
mean,
why I was saying it should have been a 9, right? They needed
Yeah.
a 9, man. They really
Yeah.
needed a 9.
yeah. So, but I mean, to other people who like that type of gameplay, you know, I mean, they might really like that mystery and stuff, and like, oh, I've got to go over here. Oh, I saw this, but like I need an item to be able to get through that. So let me search around some more. Oh, like this, I put this together. Oh, I found this, so this will allow me to get over to this area. And you're doing like a lot of backtracking back and forth and stuff like that. But you know, it's like some creepy stuff in it,
Well,
but it's not really
you pegged
too crazy.
it right at what Metacritic has it at. I think it has it at like a 60.
Can you die in the game? Is there any harm when you're doing the puzzles?
I have yet. I don't. So like, there's like a couple of things that they tell you. Like, if you go and do an out of body experience, you have like a certain time limit, and you see your spirit slowly starting to dwindle away. So I don't know if you die if you're left in the out of body experience, or if your time just runs out and you pop back to your body. So that's the only thing. I came across like one, like demon like creature or whatever, but I hadn't gone any further than that. You know, I kind of had stopped the game like sort of around that. So I don't know like if they can just swipe your face off. You know, I've gone through some moths and stuff, but it's really not I haven't come across like anything that was like really jump scare, you know what I mean? Like something that weird had popped up and I was like, "Whoa," you know what I mean? But it wasn't like, you know, nothing crazy or whatever. So I mean, it's it seems like it would be an interesting game if you guys wanted to play it and you like, you know, searching and discovering and doing a lot of backtracking because you're trying to figure out like, oh, what do I need to get through here? Oh, this looks like something, or like, you know, I'll open this path and then in the real world it'll lead me into here and then I can see this and that and stuff like that, you know. So, you know, without like spoiling everything for you, you know, or anybody else, you know, it's something that if you got Game Pass, just try it out.
Try it
You
out.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's worth
Nice.
like a little like a download just to check it out.
sure.
I'm definitely not gonna finish it. Like I don't have any interest in it, so it'll be deleted off of my console. You know,
Yeah, but I'm
I
just
might
saying,
let my
like-
wife play it because she likes mystery type games. So
Okay.
if she
but
gets
it-
interested in it, you know, it's simple enough.
But if it was good enough, you would like it, I think. Like I don't think it's about like
Yeah.
necessarily if you like that style. I think like if they did a good enough job at it, someone who doesn't really like that style could enjoy it still. So it may not be very good.
Yeah, but it's like its own little like genre. You know what I mean? Kind of like if you were to like, you can't compare
But
like
they
a
could've been
Crash
that genre
Crash
better.
Bandicoot or Spyro or something of that nature. You know what I mean? With some of these other top tier games, you have to compare them to the games that are like in their category. You know, like you have to compare Spyro to Crash Bandicoot. You can't compare Spyro to like I don't know, Assassin's Creed or something.
I'm not
you know?
comparing them, but I'm saying like I can play Spyro and go, "Oh, this is a good game," and I can play Assassin's Creed, "Oh, this is a good game," regardless of knowing what genre they are, regardless of comparing them to other games in their genre. I can play it and say this game is just fun, regardless of the genre.
But you
Like
also
a
have
game
to,
can
like,
be fun.
you also have to like want to play it,
That's
and
true.
and you don't really want to play medium, right? Like there was nothing that you saw that would make
I
you
don't
want to
play
it.
Medium because it's horror based.
Just because it's horror.
That's the primary reason why I didn't want to play it.
Okay, it's really not.
It's not. Yeah, I've heard it's
But-
not very scary at all.
Yeah.
But that's what it was. That's what I thought it was sold
Right.
as.
Right.
Right. Advertised
So
as.
that part already
Turned
being in
me
the
off.
horror genre, you just weren't
Turned me
interested.
off. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Gotcha.
So I had no desire to really play it. Although I was going to try it because it was free on Game Pass. I was
Right.
using your mentality,
right.
which made a lot of sense to me. I was like, yeah, I guess I might as well.
And we
try
can
it.
talk
And
about it.
I probably
you know?
will. I probably will hop on and try it.
Mhm.
But I do know that I've read a lot of reviews, and almost all of them are giving it about the same exact thing you're giving
6
it.
or a
6 or
7?
7.
Mm.
Almost
Okay.
all of them, universally.
Yeah, I didn't
I
even
don't think
see
it's-
any reviews.
I
on
don't think
that.
it's like, oh, if you like this genre, it's going to be a 9 for you.
It's just a straight.
I
nine.
think it's going to be
just
an
a
okay
basic
game, regardless. I think even if you like that genre, you'll come away. And if you like that genre, it might even be worse because you might have played games that are much better at that genre.
Yeah,
than
that's
it,
true. You
and
might
go,
be
"Oh my
more
gosh,
of a
this is-"
critic at that.
Yeah, like I'm a little bit more, like we're in our 30s, right? Or getting older in games.
He's a little younger.
You're
than
not
us,
quite
but-
there yet, but
I'm 30. About
He's
to turn
30?
31.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
So he's
Oh,
there
okay.
with us.
All right, yeah.
And so we've been playing the games for a while, and a game is going to be harder to impress us because we've played a lot of games. So our palette or our, gets
There's
a
a
little
lot
more
of
refined,
games that are like reminiscent of other
Yeah, like
ones.
a kid might be super interested in like, Lego Star Wars, or we're like, that doesn't do it for me anymore.
Right.
Like I need something else. But that's because that child's, he hasn't played as many games as we have. He hasn't been burnt out as many games as we have, and so he's not as picky as we're going to be, right? So I think like someone who's loves these types of games would go into it and go, "Gosh, this one's real not hitting it at all for me."
But also, do you feel like there's like a Lego game that gets like a 9 or a 10?
I have no idea. I mean, I haven't really played enough Lego games. I mean,
Uh-huh.
you could. I'm not saying you couldn't, because a good game is going to be a good game. I
Yeah.
think regardless on what
Yeah.
genre it is, if they really make a great game, it's going to be a great game.
You definitely
it's
have
Legos
to
or
start.
not.
You definitely have to look at like the games objectively and take out the fact that are you entertained with it or not? Like is this what you want to play or not? When you're trying to just look at it and then critique it, you know what I mean? Because like Medium already off top doesn't really look like something that I would want to play.
I just don't
But
think
like
it's fun
just
to
checking
play.
it out, yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's like a docile game. It's like a chill little game to like toss in.
Yeah,
It doesn't require too much. It's not asking a lot of you, so you can sit there and play it, and then you can get out of it.
Right.
You know, I think you'd probably forget about what's going on in the story after a minute, and some of the stuff is like
See, those
it's
are
cool
all
to play,
knocks,
but-
man.
yeah.
Like, Brandon Sanderson. We like Brandon Sanderson, like Stormlight Archives, whether anyone
Yeah.
knows it or not.
Mhm.
I watched some of his interviews. He's a writer. He writes stories. And he says when he goes to write a story, he says the number one thing that he's always worried about is this fun to read? Is this entertaining to read? He says everything else takes a back seat to that. Setting, environment, characters, everything else takes a back seat to is it just actually fun and entertaining to read? And I think like that's the question that we would all have to ask ourselves when we play a game, regardless of everything else. Is it fun? Do you have fun playing this? And it sounds to me like from the reviews I've read and from what you're saying
Mhm.
that it's not really fun. Like it's interesting and there's some interesting aspects and there's some setting things and I heard the voice acting's good, but it's not fun. Is it fun to play? And I'm hearing a lot of no, it's not. And I
Yeah.
just think that's a shame for
I gotta
Xbox.
try it out because I like the genre.
Yeah.
I like horror games. But some of the things you're telling me, like you can't die, or there has to be like I love the Resident Evil games
Mhm.
because they're creepy and there's a sense of you can die in the game.
That's like a heart. It's like a heart. It increases your heart rate. You're on survival. You only have like 6 shots. You got to make them count.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Things are coming in. You know what I mean?
like
you got to
that
try to
feeling,
maneuver. Yeah, that stuff is cool. But this one, it doesn't give me that vibe. Like nothing is always lurking around the corner, and that could be because it was just where I started. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? It could
that's true.
be, because I didn't get far enough into the story. I didn't get to the point where you're hiding behind boxes while this invisible spirit is like looking for you and whatnot. I didn't get to that point.
Yeah.
I saw that in one of
trailers
the
and-
like lookups or whatever, but I didn't get to that part. So I
Yeah.
didn't experience anything that could, in my opinion, be like increasing my heart rate. But I mean, maybe there is, you know what I mean? Maybe there's like the thrill stuff. Like I said, I only saw one moment in it
Yeah.
that there was like a jump scare moment, but it was just like, oh, okay, it's like weird because you're kind of peeking through
It's more
something.
of a
and then something
mystery
pops
game,
up.
right? Like you're trying to solve a mystery.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really all it is.
not
It's
about
like a horror
horror.
aspect in it, but there's
it's
it's
more-
mostly
It's
just
a
a
mystery
mystery.
game. Yeah,
Okay.
because you're
Gotcha.
trying to find a person. So you're going to this location because you got a call saying to come help me out. Come here.
Right.
You go there, and then you're trying to
But you're
find
like a
where that
conduit
person
to
is
the,
and
other
how
world,
that goes.
right?
Yeah,
Like
you're
a
able
psychic
to.
detective kind of. Right?
Yeah, you're able to talk to the dead and whatnot,
Yeah.
and you kind of help them go to the other side. You know what I mean? So you get your first experience when you first start the game, and you lead somebody that you loved to the other side,
Mhm.
and so you see what that's about. But then you go to this new location,
Mhm.
and then you're trying to find this person, and the whole time while you're finding this person, you're uncovering like what's going on, and then there's like a lot of shit that happened in that location, and you're trying to maneuver through that location, and then you're
Right,
communicating with the
right,
spirits
right.
and all that stuff. So
Right.
like I said, 6 or 7.
I think you're right.
Maybe at some point in time I might go back and try to play it, and like finish the story. But
Yeah, like
as
better
of right
things to
now,
play, right?
I would
Yeah.
much rather just go hop quick resume back into Valhalla
Right.
and then just
I hear
keep
you.
playing that.
Yeah, I
you know?
got you.
And then try Final Fantasy Royal Edition,
Oh, yeah.
15.
Yeah, it's a great
Days
game.
Gone.
There's a
There's
ton of
things
games.
that's
Yeah.
out. Demon Souls. You
Yeah,
know,
lots of
maybe
fun
eventually
things to play.
Phoenix. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's
Yeah.
things that's out that I would much rather play than
Right,
Medium.
Of course.
Got you.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate considering that it's
That's-
their first
right,
game
and I
that's
think
come out
that's-
for the system.
That's what
but-
I'm saying. Like they needed something cool.
And like
They needed
like
a blockbuster,
They
man.
needed something cool.
like for like instance,
Because
right?
Demon
my-
Souls is damn cool.
Yeah. But like for instance, my father-in-law, big avid Xbox fan, Xbox
Yeah.
game user to the core. Doesn't have a PS5, doesn't have a
Yet,
PlayStation,
that's good.
period. And
Yeah,
know,
come on, man.
I asked him about Medium. I was like, "Hey, you gonna download Medium?" He's like, "Medium, what's that?"
Dang, so
Like-
even Xbox
That's
fans are
funny.
like,
I'm like, "Oh, it's on
That's
Game Pass
crazy.
and whatnot," But you would think like those
Microsoft
type
should
of
have
things,
promoted it more.
yeah, that you would
Yeah.
just see so much of it. Everybody and their mama who's got
Especially
an
an
Xbox
Xbox
would know about
fan.
it. Yeah,
See,
like
that's a failure on Microsoft's
if
part.
if
or
I'm
they knew it wasn't
Microsoft,
that good.
if I'm Microsoft and you got Game Pass, I'm automatically downloading the game onto your console. So it's gonna pop up on your thing. Oh, you don't like it? Just delete it. But I might
Well,
just
not
auto download
it,
that on
but
you.
like auto make it show up.
Yeah. It'll
Like
show up
auto
as if
click-
it was
yeah,
already
like all of a
downloaded on
sudden
your
the,
console.
image shows up. Download this now, because
Yeah.
you may not have the space, and someone
Yeah.
would be really pissed if you woke up and
Well,
you got 40 gigs
obviously-
missing on
hey,
your
but
space.
that would be
Obviously,
dope,
if you don't
though.
have the
If you're-
space.
when you're in rest mode, you can set a setting, download all the new games. That'd be kind of cool. I
It'd
wouldn't
have
mind.
to be like
Small
because
games, of
there's
course.
lots of games.
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
lots of games they
Yeah.
had.
Yeah, there's mad indie
Yeah.
games that like
Yeah,
first
you
release
don't
on there
want
and stuff
all
like that.
clogging your system.
But I mean, like
yeah,
if you
that
have the
would be interesting,
space,
you know, like-
drop like the biggest game.
Any first
your
party
thing.
studio games,
Any exclusives,
yeah,
download.
exclusives download.
That'd be dope,
Yeah, first
actually.
download.
But I mean, what is nice though, is that anything with Game Pass, like I think I had set for Medium to download
Ahead
like
of time.
almost like 2 weeks before it was
Yeah.
releasing. So like on the day of, on the 28th, I just woke
You
up in the
preset it
morning
to
and then
do
I
it,
was
yeah.
already
Yeah.
able to play it, because it was already
like
on my
that.
console and stuff. So you can do that if you're if
That's
you
dope.
know that they're coming and you're anticipating it.
I
Whatnot.
got you.
But yeah, man. Getting into things. They showed us the PS Plus stuff for
Okay.
February, and the list was intriguing. I didn't expect to
Really
see
good.
It's a lot of value there.
Destruction All Stars on there.
Well, we knew that was coming in February, right, Mark?
Yeah, so they announced that
Was it? I completely forgot about
Yeah,
it, man.
so
I
they
do
told us
remember that we had that
after
announced it.
everyone responded like, this looks whack. This is gonna be $70. They said no, it's gonna be PlayStation Plus exclusive next year.
Right.
So we got lucky on that one.
Yeah, and then
We
we
but
got
we knew it was February, didn't we? Like knew it was coming.
Yeah,
I think we
they-
knew it was coming in February.
I'm
Yeah, I
pretty
might have
sure
forgot.
they
Yeah,
told
I think
everybody.
it was February. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely forgot. I forgot about that game once it wasn't coming out like on
Yeah,
on
launch
release
day.
date. Yeah,
Yeah.
like they had originally planned. But we got Destruction All Stars, Control, which was a big game
looks-
that was out, and
That's huge.
I mean it was on Game Pass, so I guess it's only right that you can get it on PlayStation
Yeah.
eventually. So that's
Well,
cool.
I disagreed in a sense because it's an EA game, I believe.
Oh really?
That's how Game Pass got it was on EA. I
Oh,
believe.
because it was
okay.
their
The
EA
EA
exclusive
thing.
thing.
Ah.
I thought. And so I was thinking they might want to hold that close to the chest, and like use it to bring you to Game Pass.
Yeah,
Because that was one of the cool things I thought about Game Pass. Like, oh, I get to play Control now.
right.
And then when I saw it come on the PlayStation, I was like, yeah, that's crazy.
But
And not only that, it's the Ultimate Edition. So that means you get the PS5 upgrade with it.
Yeah, it's a $40 game.
That's all
but
DLC.
but the thing
Wow.
for me, right, is like Game Pass is cool and all, but just like we were talking about last week, where I was like, oh, let me check out Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition. Oh, it's leaving Game Pass soon, so it doesn't interest me to get it to play it now on Game Pass.
You won't be able to
I'll
finish
just
in
play it
time.
on the
Yeah.
PlayStation. Like the games that you get on the PlayStation, they're forever yours. And as long as you have PlayStation Plus, you can play these games. So like Game Pass, yeah, as long as you have Game Pass, you can play those games. But Game Pass renews like their list, so the games don't last forever. You
Yeah,
can't just
like
get a
if you
game and have it.
downloaded it. It's not like trying to get the download before it's gone.
Right,
It's about trying to beat it before it's gone.
right.
Because once it's gone, they remove it from your list.
Yeah, it's, so
From your actual
PlayStation
game
just
list.
does that like
Yeah.
better because
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you got a couple of games that you can play and whatnot, but the fact that it's always there, Like you just had to be around for it and to add it. So like this month, as long as you add Destruction All Stars in your pack, you don't have to ever pay for it. It's gonna eventually go to like you got to pay for it, but you get this game for free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a game that they're gonna eventually charge.
Yeah.
So it's like nice, you know, and Control's the same way. A game that they're gonna charge, a game that will eventually leave Game Pass. You'll have it forever, you know, on PlayStation.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the other one was Concrete Genie. I hadn't seen too much of this. I did see them advertising
It's a
it a
PlayStation
lot,
exclusive,
though.
though, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a PlayStation exclusive.
it's
I
VR.
did see them advertising it a lot. I did not know that it was VR
Yeah.
because I never really looked
Mhm.
at it. But I think I definitely want to check it out and see because I feel like this one was like recent, like within like last year or something like
Yeah.
that it came out.
Yeah.
So the fact that they put something that's so close to, you know, when it released, it's not some old ass game. You know, that's kind of nice.
I think you really want to check it out because it's VR.
Yeah.
I know, like it had some mixed reviews, I believe, but some people really like it a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some people who really like
Because I think you
Concrete
do
Genie
like
is
graffiti and towns and stuff,
Yeah.
and then with the controller, you like, I don't know.
Are you using the Move controllers or
Yeah,
are you using the
on the
regular?
box, it has the moves and the headset on it, so
Okay,
I'm not sure
cool.
if that indicates it, but I know it said.
That does
You
indicate.
got,
yeah.
you got,
Oh, okay.
you got to try it, man. You got to let us know.
yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
But even for the people who don't have that, you can use the controller to like do some things. The
okay,
the dual
with
shot.
just the light bar. Okay.
Yeah, so it said you can do something like that. So it looked interesting. to
And
Oh,
me.
so you're
It's-
stuck with a DualShock 4 controller on that one?
I was reading a review, and I think if you don't have the VR,
Uh-huh.
you can use the controller to do
Oh, so
You
you're just
still
playing
can
the
use
game without
it.
the VR headset.
Right.
You
Yes,
just
yes,
using your
right,
controller.
yes.
Okay, all right, that's cool.
And
So-
I was hearing too, like it's not like holding your hand in there. It's not like paint by numbers.
Mhm.
Like you're actually like doing some creation.
Oh,
so
so you
people,
just
like-
get the freestyle
yeah,
in
it's
there,
like
and
a
you can really
and,
freestyle
like
some
it's
shit.
unique abilities that you have to make certain creations.
That's cool.
And so people like really walk away feeling like they made something.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It looked neat. It definitely seems like it's for VR folks though, like
Yeah.
more than like a standalone.
That's kind of one of the games that I want to play is that PS Dreamers, I think it is.
Yeah,
Is it
dreams. People love dreams too.
Yeah, I've
Dreams,
heard that
yeah.
people were like literally
Yes,
creating whole
people
games
love
off
dreams,
of that.
man.
Whoa.
And I did want to buy it and check it out.
It's
and
not.
see
I don't
what's
think it's
going
for
on,
me.
but-
But dude, there's a huge fan
Community
base
for
for
it,
dreams.
yeah.
Yeah, huge community
Yeah.
for dreams that just like creating all sorts of unique things.
Yeah,
dope.
yeah.
I remember when they announced that game at one of the E3s, and everyone was thinking along those lines, "Oh, what are people going to do with this?"
Mhm.
And sure enough, man, people have been
People are
like,
doing some
dope.
crazy stuff.
creative stuff with it.
And I don't know if you can sell any of the things that you've
I
created.
don't know. That's a good
but
question.
It's definitely interesting to see how people were able to take like this game and make other games and different things like that with
Yeah.
it. You know, but
I'm just pretty excited, to get our hands on another PS5 like exclusive game, because I've kind of motored through a lot of them, pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
And it's
You
kind
even
of
played
cool.
well,
Bugsnax?
you just did a little
I
test.
Oh, yeah,
played
you tried
Bugsnax,
Bug- dang,
I
so you
played
did go
Bugsnax,
through all of 'em.
I didn't beat Snacks,
But you tried
But you
I
did
played
try
it
it
for
out.
a good little while,
Yeah.
a couple hours,
Right.
and I could see the appeal. Like I said, I might go back to it if I had nothing else better to
Bug
do.
snacks.
Mhm.
But it's in the realm of medium where it's like a 7 probably for me. But Destruction All Stars looks pretty fun actually. We finally got that state of play.
Yeah.
Right.
you know,
right.
and
Right.
so
we did
it's
get
like
that.
really neat to see finally the action on that. I think it would be cool. Like it was like 8-on-8. I think that like an 8-on-8 mode or something.
Yeah, it's interesting that you can hop out the car
I was
and
gonna say the
still
same
do
thing.
some
That's
damage outside of the car as well as in the car. So
Yeah, like
I
major
mean,
damage it seemed like.
when we first saw Destruction All Stars, I was kind of getting the vibe of like what is it,
Rocket
Twisted
League?
Metal,
Yeah,
and as
gotcha.
well as like Rocket League, and then like Burnout Paradise.
Okay.
You know, kind of like a combination of the
I
three.
think you're right about that.
But it seems like they've added like a whole nother element.
With the
And
on
so so I was thinking like at first when I was looking at the state of play, I was like, this is kind of like, it's just like Rocket League, except you're adding like crashes
Mhm.
and people trying to destroy other people's cars and stuff like that. But then, you getting off on foot, like I could just only imagine like maybe the one guy who just decides to play the whole game on foot to just like destroy as many cars as he can. And
Yeah.
that's like his goal is just to do that. Like it seems like you could have different layers of gameplay that, it'll be interesting how like that stuff benefits you, like maybe you
Mhm.
get more experience or something like that for getting out of your car. And then it looked like there was different cars that had different advantages to them and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So it seems like there's a couple of layers.
I
in
thought it was
this.
pretty cool how like each hero kind of had like a special ability too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Like
cool.
that was kind of neat. So
Yeah.
it's kind of.
I hope there's not going to be one of those things where you go in and there's like 6 of the same person. because there's just like one guy that's like really
yeah.
OP.
like there's a
you know?
meta.
Dang.
And
Yeah.
everyone's playing the best player.
I hope
Yeah,
it's not,
yeah.
but the roster looked pretty good. You
Yeah.
know, I like that there's gonna be varied gameplay. Hopefully you can't all stack the same character because that would kind of suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
But
would-
you know, it is what it is. But the game did look cool. All the things you said, I felt the exact same way, and I really do like that you can jump out because I was thinking maybe like if your car dies, you have an emergency evacuation. So it'd be cool like to start the game, everyone's cars, and then as you progress, everyone's like on foot and you're battling. That would be cool. You know,
that
They
would be cool if
'cause
you
they
could
did-
fist fight or
You
something.
know what
in
they
there?
didn't show? I don't think they showed player to player versus player on foot combat.
because
No.
that'd
Does
be
that exist?
that would be dope if it is.
It'd
Just
be
think about
interesting
it.
if
Just
it
think
is.
about it. Like if you have two lives essentially, you have your car life and
Yeah,
then you have your human
right.
life. So once you get out of your car, you know that'd be cool to run people over. You know, because in war zones, I love jumping in cars. I feel like I'm really good in the cars. I could like destroy
You're
people
really
with
good
the
in
truck.
cars.
Yeah.
With the truck, I could take down a team, man. Just like freaking running them over and do it. But anyways, I hope it's like that in this. You know what I mean? I hope that there's that element because it'd be cool if it's down to the wire, you know, and you guys both destroy your cars and it's 1v1. And I like how it's third person, and
Yeah.
it had my mind turning. It had the the gears turning like you know they may be onto something with this.
Yeah, I had my gears turning too. Like I said, what's ultimately going to matter is when we sit down, pick up the controller.
fun?
Is it fun?
Yeah.
That's what's going to matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this is kind of a difficult game to judge if it will be fun or not until you actually are holding the controller and feeling the hits and hitting people and what does it feel like? How quick is it? What the pace is like?
One of the biggest things, you know, besides like, you know, like, yeah, is it going to be fun, but is it going to be fun to lose?
That's a good question.
You know,
Mm.
because one of the things that can be frustrating
matters.
with like some of these games is if you keep losing, it's like no fun. You know what I mean? But if you're still benefiting a lot just
Had
by
lot of
playing a
fun, so I wanna
match
play again,
and
yeah.
you enjoyed playing the match, you know what I mean? Like that's gonna be the big
Mm.
kicker because that's one of the things that keeps you coming back, right? Is if you can win, you know what I mean? Like you believe you can win. It's just like you gotta do something a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're just getting demolished out there, it's not gonna be any fun.
Yeah, I agree.
'Cause
That's
Yeah.
my biggest concern.
God,
It needs that. All right, just one more match. All right, just one more match. It needs to have that effect on you.
Mhm.
You know,
which is
So that's a good point.
like what Fall Guys had, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like
totally.
I just did this wrong. I could definitely do this like this next
Yeah.
time.
I also
and just
think
keep
Fall
going.
Guys, it was well designed in the sense that I think that it was difficult for anyone to get like super OP at it. I think
Yeah.
so. Someone may be better at you in the game, but you always still felt like you had a chance. Like there was enough like RNG or there was enough
Yeah.
things that could go wrong for even a good player that you could beat them. Or like a game like Rocket League, I think became so skill intensive
Yeah,
that like what you're saying.
you got to be able to maneuver
Yeah,
the
like,
hell out that car.
That's
to
what
get
I'm
them
worried
goals,
about.
man.
That's one of my biggest concerns is that people are going to be so stinking good that it's not going to be fun for us, casuals.
Yeah. As long the ceiling is so high because of the aerial, you can do all these things in the air. You can
Yeah.
jump off the ceiling.
Yeah.
So I didn't see any cars coming off the ceiling. You know what I mean? So I think our ceiling is a lot lower in this
It's
game.
like
I
raining
hope,
down.
man.
You know?
Yeah,
Like I don't
So-
want to be like, dude, man, I can't hit nobody. Like I suck. Like
Yeah.
I can't kill no one. Like what Marcus, like this isn't fun. Like I'm getting killed and I can't
Yeah.
kill anybody.
I'm also I don't remember recalling it from the state of play or whatever, but I want to see how many like lives you have, or like if your card is destroyed, is it like game over,
And you're
or
sitting there
or do
watching.
you get a new car respawned or what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to see like
Yeah.
if I go into the battle, my car gets destroyed. Like, okay, do I keep going or do I have to get out of my car before it's destroyed, and then like they can't destroy my car? Or does it even matter if my car is destroyed? Could I just like
Yeah.
start the game outside the car and never get in it? You know what I mean? That type of stuff. I want to see how that goes. So
It's gonna be like Siege, right? Everyone has your one life, and then
oh, I don't know.
last man standing. then
Because
you
it
start the
seems
battle.
like it would be
Seems like
maybe
there's
different types.
point
Yeah,
based
yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that, and maybe a time limit. So
yeah.
if it's just about how much damage you can do during the time limit or whatever, then maybe
I think there's
maybe
an
you just
AI
get a
mode.
respawn.
I think there's different modes.
Didn't they
of
say
the
there was
game.
an AI mode?
I don't recall.
I would
I
assume.
thought there was an offline mode.
But I think
I'm
there's
sure
gonna be
there
different
is.
types,
I'll spend
dude.
some
Maybe.
time in there for a good
Maybe.
minute.
I'm sure there's
You have to
death
practice.
match.
There's got to be
you
a
know.
practice zone,
Yeah,
right?
death match.
Yeah.
There's a death match for sure. I know
So-
that. And there's a team death match.
Yeah, so I think
Mm.
it'll have enough modes. So
Oh,
it'll
and
have-
I'll tell you one mode looked cool. I think was Pile, right? Where like you have to like be inside the pile or hold something for the longest.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's one I think we can all kind of have fun with because everyone's just trying to
Yeah,
just get in there
yeah,
for
yeah.
a few minutes.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna matter. Is the different modes. Like
Yeah,
if there's
modes.
different things that you could do.
Yeah.
And you find like your niche. Like this is
Yeah,
it.
this
Like
one's
I could do
fun.
this one.
Kind of
so
like how you
I
found that game mode in Destiny you really liked.
Yeah, the mayhem.
found one
where
you
you
could
could
play.
just you
Yeah,
power up
this is
every
just
time
fun.
because that used to be like one of
Yeah.
the terrible things. Is like as you're playing through the Crucibles matches in Destiny, like it takes forever for you to get your powers, especially if you're not really killing things. So it's like you just want to get one kill. I just have to kill one hunter or one titan to be able to get like
You're
you
like, I
know
can
quest
do
or
this
this.
whatever.
little
I
yeah
can do
this little
this,
quest
yeah.
thing, and then it's
Mhm.
like, oh, I finally get my ability. You trigger your ability,
And
but
you're
you get
having
killed
fun,
as soon as you
yeah.
triggered it. You're like,
Yeah.
but Mayhem was nice because you was popping that sucker left and right. It was like every 5 seconds you got to pop it, and then you could just go off. And that's like one of the fun things about using your ability. I
Yeah.
kind of hate that they make it so that it's like randomized now, that you don't get like the same
They changed Mayhem.
things. No, like they changed the list of Crucible matches that you can
playlist.
play. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
playlist.
change. That
So
sucks.
like you can't
Mayhem's not every
Mayhem's
week?
not always available.
Oh.
Yeah. So it kind of sucks, but when it is available, I gotta get back into it too with the
Okay.
Series X and see how fast and snappy everything goes. But I just been playing everything else.
Yeah,
and,
lots to
so
play, man.
I think probably that'll be what's left to play after I play Valhalla on the Series X. I'll probably go back to Destiny 2 because
Yeah.
I don't really have anything else. I'm not gonna play medium, so
Void
know.
Bastards, man.
I gotta buy that one though, right?
No, it's Game Pass.
Oh, is it?
Game
Okay,
Pass.
Dude,
yeah, I
told
might
you,
give
I
it a
don't
try.
play anything except Game Pass games on my Series X, dude.
So
That's
I
all it
mean,
is.
you recommended the merchant one. What was that one called?
Merchant.
Moonlighter.
Moonlighter.
Oh yeah, Moonlighter.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Game Pass,
So
yeah.
Moonlighter was really good. So I'll definitely play the Void
Yeah,
Bastards.
Void Bastards. I don't know if I would say it's better than Moonlighters,
Uh-huh.
but it's really neat. I enjoyed it. Was having fun with it. It might not appeal to you quite as much, but
Hey, this
it's really
game's a
cool.
year old, but please go play the Untitled Goose Game if you
I
haven't.
know, I need to
That
play
game's
I know,
freaking
I know,
fu-
I know. You're right.
If you
You're
just
right.
Wait,
want
is
a
that
fun
one?
game-
That
trust
one's
you.
free,
I
right?
trust
On
you.
Game Pass? Okay,
Dude,
yeah,
I
yeah,
trust
I'm
you
gonna
on
check
that
it
one.
out.
I know, I
Especially
gotta
Especially
check
your
it out.
wife.
Yeah.
Like my wife was watching. She's like, "Do this, do this." Like it gets people involved because
I might be able to get my kids to play that one too. They might like to.
They
play
might
that
like
one.
it. Yeah.
Almost
My
there,
my
huh?
daughter freaking I sat my control down because I had to go and do something in the kitchen or whatever, and I was playing Valhalla. So I was doing something. I was like in a town that I shouldn't have been in. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Where
like
I
a
had to
high
have my
level?
disguise. Yeah. So I set my controller down. I pause it. I go, and then I come back, and my daughter's like, "I played your character for you, Daddy," and I was like, "What?"
I got
She's
you
like,
killed, Daddy.
"Yeah, I tried to fight these guys, and they kept coming in, and I was trying to attack, but then they killed me." And I was like, "What?"
Daddy.
So I look and it says desynchronized, like reload.
Yeah.
I was like, "Damn, what'd you do?" Like I was trying to
Yeah.
play this, but so she's getting that bug to try to want to play games and stuff like that. So maybe something low key, like like
Yeah, she like
Untitled
that.
Goose
The
or
puzzles,
something.
there's a couple hard puzzles in
No,
there.
I'm telling you, man.
but-
Like I was talking with Mark about this. Like, you start your kids off the way we started off, playing Mario
Super Nintendo.
original.
They
right?
have they
Like,
play my
really
Switch.
Easy, two
They-
buttons.
They
and a
play my
D-pad,
Switch, so they'll
two
play on
buttons
that
and
one.
a D-pad, and that's it. And you slowly graduate them, like we had to go through.
I don't
you
know, man. My kids are maneuvering on iPads and stuff like that. I think they're a little bit
Yeah.
more advanced.
I'm just saying, if you want to get them in love,
Dude,
with
just get
gaming,
them to play any Pokemon game. I think that'll switch something in their mind.
maybe.
I
It's a
tried
little
to
tough.
I tried to get my daughter to play
Sword and Shield.
the the easy ass one. That
Oh,
was before
Let's
Sword
Go?
and Shield. Yeah, Let's Go. I think I
Yeah.
borrowed it from you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No,
but
Let's
she-
Go is much easier.
that was
That's what you
way
introduce.
easier.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what you introduce
okay.
someone to a
Yeah.
Pokemon with.
But she liked the Pokemon stuff. But she was
The
having
Pokemon
fun
Snap,
with
dude.
yeah, maybe
You gotta
maybe
get that
Pokemon
game. I
Snap.
played that as a kid in elementary school, dude.
Yeah, we didn't talk
game.
about
That's
that the
easy,
other week,
too.
but they
That's
had
easy.
announced
You gotta
get
Pokemon
that.
Snap, and so I know you were excited about.
I'm gonna get that
one.
day one, so I'll let you
Yeah.
borrow it when I'm done with it.
All right, for sure.
Or if you want to borrow it too.
But yeah. So I mean, how'd you guys feel about Returnal getting delayed?
Where are you at on that, Mark?
So I think in this current climate where we just had cyberpunk,
Cyberpunk climate, we're calling it now, right?
we're in the cyberpunk
Yeah.
era,
Yeah.
and they're trying to charge the premium $70. So I think they have to cross their T's and dot their I's, before they push it out for $70. So I'm not mad because, as you were saying, there's a catalog of games.
Yeah.
There's so many games right now. So I do not care. This wasn't like a day one buy for me. This was coming out of like the outfield, and we're just trying to see what it's gonna be. But I think they're trying to make a statement here. So go ahead and keep delaying it. That's my perspective.
Dude, like, there's one good thing that came out of this for me. Do you guys remember we talked about on our last episode the leaked dates for certain games?
Right.
And I mentioned how Kenna comes out in March.
Right.
And then Returnal comes out in March.
And
I
you
was
were like, I
wish they would stagger these
yeah.
a little more.
That's true.
Yeah, it's getting staggered, all right.
They listen.
And now they staggered, right?
So on Twitter, because I follow Kenna, they are not giving a date.
What?
They have yet to give a date. It seems like they really do not want to give a date. I mean, we're damn near like a month, 2 before launch, right? The presumed launch from that week. So I'm hoping that they do make the mention sometime in February.
Me too.
But like, I want them to stick with March. I feel like that's a great date, and it looked like they had a lot going on. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna, release some betas to people and at least let people try it out.
Dude, it's perfect
whatever,
now that
but
they're by themselves too. Like, they don't have to compete with
the best
Returnal
time
for
to
sales.
strike.
Like,
Yeah.
March is a great month, and it's like just in time. Not the
I mean,
month isn't great,
Returnal.
but I'm talking about it's a great dude. It's still though like you're competing with like the AAA because they're trying to sell Returnal as a AAA title.
Yeah, but I the only reason why I'm giving that face is because like Returnal is free on Game Pass, so it's not really like sales.
Returnal?
Yeah. Oh wait, no.
It's a
Returnal is
exclusive.
PS5. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just
For
saying
some
you
reason,
have
I
the
was
whole
thinking it
month to
was on
yourself,
Xbox, but yeah.
and we're like thirsty for a game.
Mhm.
Like I know I am
Thursday for a new game.
for a new PS5
Yes.
game. Yeah, not for games, but like
For
I want my next gen titles.
Right.
Like I'm
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah.
And so like it'd be cool if Kenna came out, and I'm on it. Like I'd be a day one buy for me.
Yeah,
nice.
for
you
sure.
know, and so like I think having, like you said, like it's a great month for them to come out on. So I hope they do
Yeah.
choose to tell us in February for
First,
coming out.
it could
in
be
March.
one of the best sellers, for a PS5 exclusive.
Could be.
in the month
First
of
quarter.
March.
Yeah,
In the first quarter. Yeah. So
Did they say
'Cause-
the price yet?
they have not.
Okay.
They have not given
Everything's
anything.
tight-lipped,
They
man.
literally, 2 months away, and they have not said, "Hey, we are going to release in March. We're waiting on a date." Or something like that. They haven't given anything. They definitely have not given a price.
Well, now that Returnal's not there, maybe they're gonna.
That's what
Maybe
I'm
they're
thinking
gonna strike.
too. Like now
Yeah.
that Returnal's not there, remember, like okay, now this is perfect. Like
Yeah.
this is gonna be everyone's gonna buy it.
So did we hear when Returnal is pushing it back to?
Yes, April 30th.
yeah.
April 30th.
Yeah,
Okay.
the end of April.
All right.
So
What do we think the problem was?
I think they're afraid. I think like what Mark is saying, like they're worried.
They were about Metacritic?
Dude, I think they're really
Oh,
worried
God.
about charging people $70 for this game. I don't think they're worried about Metacritic. I don't think they're worried like what Cybertruck's worried about. I think they're worried about damaging their
Cybertruck?
studio. Cyberchunk. They're worried about destroying their studio, right? Like, people will be really pissed off if they spend $70 and they feel like they were shortchanged.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna get blasted on. I think in the same way Hello Games got blasted on with No Man's Sky, because No Man's Sky launched at full price too. Remember that they
Mhm.
launched at $60,
Right.
and people did not feel that they got $60 worth of gameplay.
Did you buy it?
I bought
when
it
it
at
released?
60.
I didn't buy
I
it
have
at
my
60,
original
right?
copy still.
I didn't buy it at 60, I don't think.
I don't remember if you did.
I
or
think
not.
I bought it like way later for like the low.
I don't remember
Yeah.
when you got it, but I bought it day one because I was super pumped for that game.
I know you were.
bought into the hype, and to be
That
honest,
PlayStation experience.
to be honest, man, like they definitely they met my expectation with the feeling of like exploring the universe. Like it felt like I was leaving a planet when I hopped in the ship. Like that feeling was like, whoa, this is insane. It felt massive. So they and when you came to a planet, that feeling was just like surreal because it was so incredible. They nailed that feeling, but they messed up bad on the gameplay. Like it wasn't really fun. Like you talked about, all this whole episode has been, is this game fun?
Yeah.
And so they kind of didn't quite hit that mark.
They tried to make like exploration the key thing.
Yeah,
but
and that's not quite fun
you didn't
enough.
really know what to explore, why you're exploring.
What
you
am
know
I
what
doing?
I mean? There
Okay, I guess I'll
wasn't.
survive.
Yeah, there
you
was
know?
no meaning of life. So,
Yeah.
you're
Mm.
just kind of like
So-
just aimlessly like doing random things. And it wasn't enough random things to do to make it cool enough. You know what I
Like,
mean? It's,
I'm relatively convinced that Returnal is not going. I don't think it's going to feel like a $70 game.
yeah.
I don't know what. I don't think there's anything they can do to fix that problem. I don't think it's going to feel like a $70 game. I don't think there's anything they can do. It's going to feel like a roguelike. It's going to feel like an indie, I think.
So, do you think that a lot of these game plans now is to like release a game at like quote unquote full price and then flash sale and now it's available
So
for
you feel like you're getting a
$50.
deal?
So like
I'm
you're
getting
because
a deal now.
right, because our minds, right? We see something like, it's full price,
Mhm.
and then you see there's been a slash cut, for like this limited time. So you want to strike, because you think that this is like the lowest price it's going to be for like a while. You know what I mean? Like, I got to get it. It's 60 right now, $10 off. Like, I'll probably have to wait until July, maybe, August before it gets down to $60, So let me just buy it now because I was kind of like on the fence about it. You think that maybe they're going to try to do
Dude.
that maneuver? Because, I mean, that's like what's happened to every game. I mean, granted, we've been in like holiday season, but they felt so willing to drop,
Yeah, dude.
all
Will
these
they-
games at the top of their prices. and
Will
then
they
just
do
cut
that?
down.
I think they could do that. What you're saying is that their goal. I don't know if they're trying to pull one over on us like that.
Mhm.
I think they want it to sell for 70, and they want people to be happy with their purchase at 70.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's possible. I don't think anyone's going to be happy buying this game at 70. I don't know, man. I don't feel like anyone's going to be happy spending $70 in that game. I think it could be a good game and still people be unhappy spending 70 for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
You see what
for
I'm
sure,
saying?
for sure.
Like that's
Yeah,
what I think.
I think like we're thinking like that $40, that $30 price range or whatever for a house marquee game.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
$40 would have been perfect.
As we come across these other games like Genshin Impact and stuff like that are free, or some of these other games, like, I mean, we don't know what Canon's going to cost, but there's been a lot of games that have been $15 and provided a lot of joy.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
$30 that are like exquisite games. You know what I mean? So it's like for you to introduce this 70, most of the time you're going off of your name. You know what I mean? Like when Call of
UB
Duty
or-
drops a
Mhm.
$70 game, it's because they're Call of Duty.
Mhm.
So they already know people are going to buy it off the strength of the name alone. But if you're an indie and you're saying, hey, my game's just as good as these boys over here,
It's a problem.
drop
dude.
your 70 on this, you know what I mean? I think that's going to open you up to a world of hate.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
Totally.
I mean, Cyberpunk was 60. You know what I mean? That's
That's
the basic entry
Give me
price
my refund.
for all of
Yeah.
the other games, and people were
Yeah.
like, "Nah, this ain't worth 60. Like, this ain't worth the 30 that it dropped down to
Yeah.
at certain
Mhm.
points." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if they're willing to shit on CD Projekt Red, which is a well-known AAA studio,
Yeah.
people will
Mhm.
not hesitate to dump a donkey buttload onto freaking
Yeah, there'll be no
onto this game.
hesitation.
Yeah.
Onto House Marquee. They'll
Yeah.
shit all
No
over it.
grace.
No.
Yeah. So I hope it's a great game because I hope it's good for their sake, And I don't know. I think this might be a pleasant surprise. That's my opinion.
I think it's going to be a good game.
I think so
I
too.
believe it's going to be a good game. But I think it's going to be good, like, in the realm of Risk of Rain.
Mm.
Like, Risk of Rain's a good game.
Worth
It's
the
a- it's
low
an amazing
price.
game.
It's an amazing game. It's a 9, right?
And I paid $10 for it. Risk Rain
Wouldn't
1
you
and
say
2.
It's a 9.
Easy.
9 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
Maybe even a tad more. It's a really
It's
good
for sure
game.
a 10. I mean a 9.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
for sure a 9. It's an amazing game. And I got it for 15. It launched at 30.
That's a deal. That's a good deal.
And that's worth it, right?
For sure.
I think Returnal will be good like that.
So you happy for paying 15 for yours, and he paid
I'm
9
super
for his?
happy. I was like, I felt so like I got my money's worth for $15 on that game.
Okay.
And he really got a deal, man.
Yeah.
For 10. I mean,
Okay.
like, he really got a heck of a deal. Like, that game's really good. I would have been happy paying $30 for that game and walked away from that experience that it was worth it. I still have it on my shelf. It's one of the games that I don't want to trade away,
Mm.
you know, because you just pop it and play it again, you know? Like, you just
It's a
feel like it
dope
one
game,
day, you
dude.
throw
You
it
bought
in
it
there,
digitally, right?
and you,
I bought a physical copy.
Oh, okay. All right.
you know, and you just feel like, you know what? I feel like playing Risk of Rain today. Like, it's one of those games where, like, you don't really beat it. You just keep playing it.
Yeah.
And I think
Interesting.
Returnal will be that way. But what is Risk of Rain kind of missing that doesn't make it a AAA title? It doesn't have, you know, a point A to point B story. It doesn't have voice acting. It doesn't have a massive world it's created. It doesn't have details and, you know, polygons and teraflops. It doesn't have all those things that come along with the CD Projekt Reds and the Activisions and the UBs and these, you know, Final Fantasies. It doesn't have that.
The 600 plus employees.
Yeah, the
and all
600
that
plus
stuff.
employees who are creating and
Mhm.
inventing these
Yeah.
massive worlds. So they're stuck selling
Probably
at
not
$15,
600.
$30, right?
Yeah.
And I think Returnal is going to be, I'm telling you, I feel like it's going to be like Risk of Rain, where everyone's going to really like it, but it's not going to feel like a $70 game, and they're going to take some heat for that. They're going to take some heat for that, man.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
And I think you make a great point. If people didn't have grace for CD Projekt Red, who's beloved,
Yeah.
you know, where's the grace going to be for someone like House Marquee when they rip you off?
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
so before we move on, do you guys think that this is the date set, April 30th, or
Yes.
do you think they will push it back again?
Ooh.
I think
Ooh, that'd be an ugly look.
Because I mean, if we've seen anything
Ugh.
if we've learned anything from CD Projekt Red, right? They pushed it back three times, and they still were not. They were not ready. So if we're looking at everything that Returnal would have to offer, right? Their studio, could they make the April 30th date and be
Yeah.
solid?
I think so.
You
I think
so?
they're done.
I think they're done.
So what would be the
I
point
think
to
they're
push
done,
back
man.
then?
I think it's like what you said at the beginning. I think we live in the cyberpunk era.
So they just want to be safer than sorry.
Just safer than sorry, man. Like every little nook, because like we're charging 70. That means this thing has to be perfect. Like we're charging more than people are paying for cyberpunk, right? Like I just think it's just an abundance of caution that we've never seen before with games. I think Ken is done. I'm
Mhm.
sure Ken is done.
Yeah.
Ken is just hesitating.
Like they're just very. I think
This is
everyone
their-
is just like
This
worried.
is Ember Lab's first game, I think.
I think it's their first. Yeah, their first probably big game. They've
Mm.
probably made
Yeah.
games, you know,
Yeah.
Maybe
their
so.
lives, but it's probably like their first real big game.
Right, and with all the eyes on it, like,
And all the
like they
eyes
have.
on it. And
so
it's
they're
just-
probably trying to
yeah.
be really cautious. I want to see them do good because
Me too.
I like the way this IP looks, and I
Same.
want to play it and see, you know, if it's done well.
For sure.
And I would hate for them to start a new IP that looks cool and then it's shit. You know what I mean? Like I just damn, you
I
could have
know,
done so
man.
much better
I
with this.
know.
Like
They
you know, that's
really
because
sold
like
me,
when you
dude.
see like an idea that you really like, you really
Yeah.
want it to go and like be good, like good enough to just make more. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna want to play in that world some more if it's good. But if it's trash, it's like damn, you wasted a drop on this.
See, and
like-
the thing is, like, Sony's done this to us, like with No Man's Sky. Like they made something.
Really big.
They present things in a very hyped way,
Mm-hmm.
right? That they pick aspects of the game that are like super awesome, and then like push those very hard. Sony tends to do this, and then they gloss over the areas that it's really weak, and so you get really hyped for something, and then they capitalize on that hype and they charge you, right? Oh, this is super hype. Let's charge full price now, or let's up the price on this, and then it ends up falling short. You know, so Sony has a little bit of a track record of doing this, and so I worry about that track record more than like what these developers can do with their game. I worry that maybe Sony is trying to squeeze out of these companies more than they can handle.
Yeah, we're literally at like a new precipice though. Like this has never been done before. Like where people are requesting their money back on a game. So I think
That's
that
true.
yeah, we've definitely entered like a whole new realm. This is Jotunheim,
Yeah.
and we're trying to see what's going on.
Definitely. Because
Yes.
we never saw
don't
this
know
many
what's up with it.
delays from everyone.
Right.
So that's number
It's
one.
the standard now.
It's the
Has any
standard to
game
push
met
back.
their original dates?
Well, not even
the
that.
recent-
Just like the fact that like an outcry of the consumers of the public can totally change like the direction that a game is going, right? I mean, like we've seen it. I think it kind of started like maybe 2019, you know, like towards the end of 2019 or whatever, like the first like humongous outcry for the way Sonic looked in that movie.
Yeah.
And they totally revamped the character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For you to for 343 to drop Halo, one of their big names, and people go, "Oh, it's shit," and then they go, "Okay, we're pushing it back. It's not a release date. We're setting it back a whole year." You know what I mean? Like you're changing like a big game studio, a big game development studio
like,
said, "Hey, I'm ready to go top of like at the end of the year." Oh no, you're not. Like go back.
I went from a launch day game
to be a year after launch day.
We don't even really know, right? But
Yeah,
a year.
it's supposed to be, yeah.
At minimum, a year. Like,
so I mean, opinion is
those
really
guys
mattering
thought their
right
game
now.
was done.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
They're like, "Ooh, this is great. We're gonna show this, and people are gonna love this because it's." Oh no, we're not. No,
They thought
this
their
isn't
game
working.
was done, dude.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, some of the stuff that people were able to get away with before all those years ago is not flying now.
Yeah.
And because of the way social media is and everything else, your shit gets turned into a meme. Like you gotta rethink some stuff. You gotta run with the meme first. You just gotta take it on the chin, and then you gotta revamp everything.
Yeah, I predict an early price drop for Returnal. And then the shitstorm that ensues from that. From everyone who bought in day one at $70 and how they want their refund and how Returnal gonna have to come out and apologize. We're offering you this, we're offering you that, or we're gonna refund you a portion of your purchase. I just think
hope
I
not,
ensue
but
all that happening.
I could see it being quick. I mean, you know, it's like well, I won't go there, but the fact that people have already opened the door to forcing the company to return their money for a game that they purchased because they are just like, "Hey, you know, you sold me crap," you know. Now that can happen with any game. So any game that you
I
drop
think
is just
Housemarque is
open
being
for it.
pressured, man, by Sony. Honestly.
To drop something.
No, to sell it at $70. I don't think they're happy about having to do this. I bet you internally, like they're really, really nervous. I really don't think they want to sell this game for $70. Almost would probably bet you that they didn't plan on ever thinking it would ever be a $70 game.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sony's pressuring them.
I
think
did
Sony
remember
probably
seeing
spent
that.
money to help develop it.
I did remember seeing an article I think you had sent me or something like that that was stating that Sony was kind of behind this like $70 push. Like they wanted a lot of their games that are coming out to be $70. And you know, and that may not fare well for them, but
they're trying hard, it looks like. And they're trying to do it like so sleight of hand. Just making their game 70 with like no explanation or reason or
right, like this is just the way it is.
Yeah,
Tupac.
like no press conference like some of these other companies did. Like they at least released something saying, "Yeah, this is why we believe this should happen." Sony just did it. That's so I don't know. That's always left a bad taste in my mouth.
Hey, well, like Godly Sovereign was saying, in the era of Twitter and social media, they must have a good justification for the 69. So I think we're gonna be pleasantly surprised with Returnal. Personally, I think that we're gonna play it. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and I think we're gonna be pleasantly surprised. Am I gonna pay 70 for it? No, absolutely no
funny.
way.
Hell nah.
That's so funny. You're
But-
funny.
But
It's worth 70, but it's not worth 70 to me.
We're
Not
gonna
to
be
me, not to
pleasantly
me.
we're gonna be pleasantly surprised, but I'm gonna be real surprised when I don't pay $70 for
but no.
that shit.
but I'm definitely not playing. But I think we're gonna be surprised with this, guys. That's I think we're gonna be surprised with this game. I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be fun. But the resume's
a
not
game
good
can
enough.
be good and fun and not worth 70 though. That's my point. I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like if
Yeah,
like I
'cause there
told
could
you,
be not
Untitled
enough
Goose
stuff
Game.
in
If
it.
the Untitled
Yes.
Goose Game was 70, and I played, I'm like, dude, I beat this whole game in like 10 hours.
Exactly.
Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
But like Jedi Fallen Order, like a lot of people said that about that game. Like, what? This game should not have been $60. I beat the whole game in like 20 hours. So
That's what I'm saying. Is like I believe it will be good. Honestly, I don't think Housemarque makes bad games.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they do.
They
Honestly.
just, for me, they have yet to make a game that really interests me in playing. Like I didn't care for the Resogun.
It was pretty
and all
fun
that
though,
stuff.
right? Like,
I
I know
can't
you
say.
won't sit there and play, but just playing it, like this is you can see like the fun
It would
of
seem like something would be kind of
you
fun.
can see why
but
someone wouldn't, maybe not you, but why like there's like it was really well built and well done and smooth, and it's just a good game,
Mhm.
but it's not one that you would sit and play. That's what I mean. I think Housemarque is good at making games.
Yeah, I could see almost any game being playable to an extent, except for fishing games. I don't know why you would want to play a fishing game, a fishing
I like
video
fishing
game.
I like fishing games.
Yeah, but like
But-
No, I didn't like any other stuff.
usually you're waiting
Yeah,
at home.
yeah.
Like, to
Hey, you
play
never
this
played
thing,
the
like, just
Sega,
go
the
out
Bass
in real
Pro?
life, man. Get
Dang, I used
you
to
your
love
little
the Sega
picnic
basket.
basket, man. Get you a couple of drinks. You kick back on the boat, toss your pole out there.
That's
and-
what's fun
and do
about it, right?
But yeah, that's what's the fun thing
About
about
fishing.
fishing. But
yeah.
digital, like
home.
electronic fishing, nah, man. I think I might have fished once in Valhalla.
Yeah, I didn't fish once. I didn't even fish once.
Yeah, I just was like, let
Dang,
me see
dude.
how this fishing
I heard
thing
that's
works.
a big part of the game, though. I heard there's some things though.
You gotta cat.
You got
Yeah.
collect
just-
fish, and then you get
I
like.
don't even got
certain
the fishing
rooms
shack
from 'em
yet.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
you get things from them.
That's dope. I don't even got the fishing shack yet.
No
It's like
thanks.
on my low priority. That and the brewery, I'm like,
I know.
I'm like, I'll get it when I get it.
I just started
Whatever.
buying shit so I could get my my
Your
town
level
level up.
Yeah.
And then
I
I
need
was
to do
like,
some
oh,
more
this
raids.
fishing thing, I could buy this? All right.
I'm just trying to
bet.
twist my town. Right? I know that's
I
right,
ain't bringing
man,
you
nah.
shit, but you can
Yeah.
you can camp out here though. You
Yeah.
know, good luck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If it was real life, I would have built those two things first. But in the game, I'm like,
Yeah, I need food, right?
yeah.
We need
I'm like,
fishing.
I would
Priority.
have probably built the grain joint. I would have built the grain and then the cattle
Granary?
farm. Yeah, the
Yeah,
granary and
the
the cattle
cattle farm.
farm. Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck the fish. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
Of course, the first thing we all built was the weapons stand and the,
The barracks.
assassin's torch.
yeah. You built the
Things
you built the
don't- you would
armory, the
You would
blacksmith,
never
and
make in real
Yeah.
life.
and the assassin stand. This is
Give
the
me my
important stuff.
gear.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So GameStop.
Dude.
Right.
In the news.
Dude,
What?
powder to the players.
GameStop.
Exactly, Carson players.
Uh,
That was one of the biggest things that happened this week, man. Is the shaftery going on with GameStop.
That's crazy news.
There's a whole lot of things that I've been hearing. Like Mark, did you hear about like how the GameStop all that stuff started?
yeah. So I know it was a group or individuals online. They saw the list.
Wall Street bets.
Wall Street Bets, the subreddit, supposedly.
Right.
They saw that it was shorted over 100%. So they said, hey guys, this is like a perfect storm situation. No other stocks are shorted this much. So if we buy it and we hold it, we'll make some money. And sure enough, I seen screenshots of people who invested 15,000 in it,
Mm.
and now they have 20 million
Mm.
in stocks.
gosh.
So
Mm.
it worked. You know what
Whew.
I mean? It
But there was a couple other things that went with it, right? Because there was some good news that had just come out for GameStop. So it was kind of already turning in the positive direction. The
What
three
was the
pieces
good
of
news?
news that came out for GameStop was, well, the first piece of good news, of course, every single generation cycle when a new console launches, GameStop stock has risen.
Because of their sales and stuff.
Yeah, just
Right.
whenever a new generation launches, GameStop stock rises every
Okay.
time it's happened. So of course, PS5 and Xbox launched, that helped GameStop.
Right.
The second thing that helped GameStop, which we reported on this channel,
Was the Microsoft deal?
agreement with Microsoft that they get a cut of every sale.
Right.
The third thing that happened, which was also really big, was the CEO of Chewy, the online e-commerce
dog store.
dog store.
He was the one that bought some of that, right?
They're multi-billionaires, those guys. He bought enough of the company to have like a 10-13% share.
Right.
He put himself on the board, and he brought some CEOs from Chewy on the board. And that was a huge deal in a lot of people's eyes because these guys, they understand the e-commerce world. They've made a lot of money.
It literally
And
changed
they
the way
thought they
the
could
company
help.
works.
Yeah, they changed the way, you buy dog food and dog, accessories. And so people were like, well, gosh, that's really great for GameStop. They have people who know how to do this, and maybe they can help transition GameStop into being more e-commerce related.
Yeah.
And you started seeing the stock rise. And so there was already like a little bit of an
But-
issue on the short end. What?
Yeah, but I would say those things kind of have, you were seeing maybe like 5%, 10% increases. Not like now where you're seeing 3,000% increases. So I would say, that didn't really have any impact in
It
what,
did. It did
and
have an
what-
impact.
because the reason why
Because
is
if you look at the Wall Street Bet guys, they said they're looking for another stock to do this on. And they said, some of the things that made it possible for the GameStop was because of those good news. They had good news recently, and their stock was already rising, coupled with it being shorted over 100%.
But the shorted over 100%, that doesn't happen. So that
does happen. Happens all the time.
that doesn't happen often. That's like it was like 140%.
Yes, but that does happen. It does happen.
It does happen.
It's
It
not
happened.
like never.
It happened with Volkswagen in 2008, and then Porsche bought all the Volkswagen, and they did the same thing. So
There are other companies right now that are shorted over 100%.
no, there's not.
Yeah, I'm sure there are.
There's not.
I mean, I
There's
haven't
not.
looked.
The only other one's like 44%, and that's AMC.
Okay, well,
So none of
it's
them,
not hard to do that.
but it's rare. It doesn't
Yeah,
happen
but
often.
it's not hard for that to happen, though. If
But
you
a
understand
short,
how
a short
works.
is like betting on the company losing, right?
A short is borrowing stock.
Right.
So
At a
So
certain point,
It's
and
like
then
this.
selling
it's like
it,
this.
yes,
And
but then
then
what happens
it
is
being lower,
right,
and you're getting
if
more
I
money.
borrow stock from you, and then I sell it to someone else, and then it gets borrowed again, and then sold and borrowed again, and sold and borrowed again. That stock is now compounded. That one stock has to be returned to all down the line. So you can end up owning more stock than there actually is
Mm-hmm.
to actually get from that company.
Yeah.
So it's not hard for something to be shorted over 100%.
I would say it is because these hedge funds.
By hard, I mean it's very easy.
These
to
hedge
do.
funds, it's rare that it's going to be in your favor to keep shorting something over 100% and expect to have a return. It doesn't happen as common as you think over 100%.
No,
It's
it's
so
not
risky.
common. I'm
It's
not
so
saying
risky,
it's common
'cause
I'm
you set
saying
yourself
that
up-
the possibility of it to occur is not a difficult thing to occur. It's possible. It's easy for that to occur because people can, if they feel strongly enough,
That is going to go down because
right,
you only
then
do
you
it.
can keep
You
doing
only
that.
do it when you know when you can with certainty say this company is going to fail, so we're going to do it.
Mhm.
So despite all that good news,
Right. It
The
would
hedge
seem like
funds
they were
were still
on
betting
to still
against it.
crash.
No, but they weren't betting against it before that. They had made their short bets before that good news.
so they've been shorting it for a while.
Mhm.
Not just
Yes.
the past
Yes,
week.
they've been shorting it
It's
for a
been a
while.
storm that's been brewing
Right.
and brewing because the
Right.
company's been doing terrible.
Right.
Mhm.
So yeah. So it's just I feel that I personally like what they did because it
Yeah.
shows the flaws in the system. Like Elon Musk made a post that I thought was interesting. He's like, you can't sell a house that you don't own. You can't sell a car that you don't own. How come you can sell stock that you don't own?
Mhm.
It doesn't make sense to me. So for me, it's like I'm glad that these people
Well,
are.
buying on margin has always been an issue in the stock.
absolutely.
That's what caused the stock crash of the 1920s was buying on margin.
Because they were buying
people-
houses, right?
Well, no, they were buying on margin is buying on credit. So you're
Yes.
buying stock on
Yes.
credit.
Mhm.
So that means if you don't make money, you owe
Yeah.
major. And
and
so
you have to pay interest.
right, and so it's a major recipe for disaster because people buy too much on credit, and then when the stock crashes, they are done. They're toast. They're over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And when there's a decline in the stock, people panic and everyone sells, and now you have a crash. Right.
Right.
And when a lot of that stock was held up by credit or on margin, people are in the poorhouse for the rest of their life. Right. And so buying on margin should never really exist. Yeah, that shouldn't be something that exists. Like
Yeah.
that is ridiculous.
That
And then it
seems
can
like
be-
some type of a
and that-
gimmick
and
that
that
people
can-
who had lots of good credit
Yeah. And
created so that they could flip that credit into
Well,
more.
and that you can borrow that same stock over and over again is also bizarre. to
Yeah, it
me.
doesn't make sense.
It's so
You know,
weird.
it does. It really doesn't make sense.
It's so weird, man.
Yeah.
It's
But-
like I borrow from you and I sell it to Mark. Someone comes along and borrows that same stock and does it to someone else.
It's because it's all digital,
Dude, that's,
so it's
like,
not
crazy to
anything
me.
physical to like like if you let me borrow Valhalla, Mark can't borrow it too,
Right.
there's only one copy.
Right.
Of it.
Yeah.
That's
So
part of the
he
problem,
has to
too.
wait until I'm done with it before he can
Yes.
borrow it, or
That's part of the
he
problem,
takes it
too.
and then I don't get to
Yeah.
play with it. But
Yeah.
because it's all digital, it's just place markers. Like you know, it's
I think
nothing.
one thing cool
Yeah.
about this though is that it shows that, of course, that the people really do have a lot more power than you would think that they do
Than the
because
1%?
we are more. We are
Yeah.
a legion,
Yeah.
right? Like if you band together, you can do
Because
what you
if
want.
we all bought one GameStop hypothetically, right? Let's just say it's at 100.
Mhm.
It's at 300, but let's say we all bought one at 300 and we all lost $300. That doesn't hurt us.
Right.
But when there's 5 million of us that did it, and now we're forcing these hedge.
70. It's at 70 billion, right? They've lost 70 billion.
Yeah.
It was a lot of
I
money.
mean, that's with a B. That's an enormous amount of money. You
Yeah.
can't even comprehend that kind of money.
But yeah, so yeah, I think the people have a lot more power, like you're saying, than we think. But at the same time,
But
when
people
you
have
see
to, but people have to work together in order
Correct.
to utilize
Collaborative-
that power.
That's the
we-
problem, right? You've got like, a couple of handfuls of people who just have gobs of money that can make things move on their own. But,
That's their
trying
power,
to
is
rally,
their money.
trying to rally like 500, 1,000 people to put, $100
to
into
do.
something is really
Yeah.
tough to do because you have to pray that everybody's got the same,
Willpower.
to
To hold.
withstand the fury like you do. Like if I want to buy
Or the courage.
100 shares
Or
of
the courage to
GameStop.
even put the money in.
Yeah, or just like I want to buy 100 shares of GameStop, and then I want to let it rise. I want to hold it and keep rising. If we all hold, it's just gonna keep rising. But you see
gotta
it and you
hold.
like,
You
damn,
gotta hold. Yeah.
I got $6,000 off of this. I think I'm gonna pull out before I lose all of this or something like that. You know what I mean? And then the chain starts to crumble. But
It's just funny because like the media cracks me up because they just propagate the problem. They propagate it even more. A lot of us didn't even know about Wall Street bets.
Right.
Now we all do.
Now
and now we all
everybody
join the
knows, and
subreddit.
everybody did it and
now
made
we
it
all
worse.
now they make the army even greater and they propagate the problem.
yeah,
even
it
more.
went from like 3 million people in the subreddit to one morning it was 4 million, and by the end of the day it was 5 million. So
Yeah. That's the thing. This is gonna happen again. Guarantee it.
it needs to.
It's gonna
Yeah.
happen
'Cause I-
again.
I mean, we, with this, right? The situation, I enjoy the situation because this opened the world a little bit more to stocks.
Mhm.
I mean, a lot of people don't have a clue of stocks, including me. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Right.
With half of the stuff. I'm watching
Same.
somebody else to see,
Mhm.
what they were talking about, and if they've got enough information that convinced me that I should do the same thing. You know what I mean? And see if we can all plus. But I like that. I could just call like I called my grandmother, or I heard my grandmother's into Bitcoin now. You know what I mean? And there's all these other stocks and stuff, and Dogecoin and all of those things. Like I'm playing
Hey, man.
with all
Easy
these
money.
little
Oh my
stocks
gosh,
and
that's so
stuff,
funny.
and and I'm getting like little wins or whatever, and it's kind of fun when you win.
Well, yeah,
you
it's
know,
like going
but
to Vegas.
Yeah, but if you're playing with tidbits of money, little things, and you're making huge wins, if you were to lose off of a tidbit of money, it's not that bad.
Yeah, but
that's
that's the whole thing with like Vegas and like
yeah,
gambling, right?
right.
Is you keep going. It ends up being something. Yeah, you
Something-
start off
you might-
tidbits
you
and
might
end up
lose big,
going, and, all
and
of a
you
sudden
might
you're in the
win big.
poorhouse, right? Yeah.
Right.
So
But
Yeah.
it's cool.
But the problem with this GameStop situation that happened is it showed how much greed corrupts the big corporations, and how much, even though us little guys can band together, that it's rigged against
it's
us.
futile.
Because, for example, on all these apps, these retail, stock trading apps,
like Robinhood.
like Robinhood, they're blocking people
Mhm.
from buying
Mm-hmm.
more of these stocks. They were, putting all these gates to artificially make people panic, sell, drop it, so the hedge funds can, buy their
Recoup
portion
their
back at a
money.
low cost,
Mm-hmm.
and then they lift the restrictions. So that's BS,
Yeah,
and that
there's
should
probably
not.
more nuance to that
That should
than
not.
we know. Because I mean, like the stock market itself has fail safes built in when too much buying occurs or too much selling occurs that freezes selling and buying. You guys know that
But
there's freezes in selling and buying.
Yeah.
So I don't know all the nuances into that, but yeah, it definitely this move to stop people from buying the stock benefits the hedge funds more than
yeah,
us. I agree with
because
that.
we can't.
But I'm
buy
saying there probably is more nuance there than we know to know the full story.
absolutely, but
Because I do know there's a huge amount of influx of money and there's huge problems with processing.
correct
And stuff
'cause
like
people
that.
aren't going to
Right,
be able
and
to get
so
paid.
there's difficulties there where you can see, okay, maybe why they might want to just stop this. But it definitely is in the benefit of the hedge funds. I agree. Yeah.
But this is not a new problem. This happens every time. This happens every day. Every day there's some sort of like hot situation. Every day there's, but it was just this.
Not every day there's 1900% increase in value.
Yeah, no.
But I know what you mean.
Well, I mean, this day to day, it's like maybe a couple 100%.
Right.
Over a month, it's like
Right.
3,000%. But my point is, there's opportunity always there. There's thousands and thousands and probably millions of transactions that go on a minute, no matter what, GameStop or not.
But
So
this
I
is a huge boost.
this
than
is a huge
normal.
boost for the
Yeah.
retail, for the
But
average man.
I feel like this
Right.
got way more
Well,
eyes than it
and
needed
and
to.
in processing. Right.
I mean,
There's
I
a
don't have
huge
the
boost in
exact-
now. Now all of us, now Joe Schmoes are all hopping on. It's like, to me, honestly, it reminded me of the PS5, right? Like everyone's trying to jump on the train and grab one,
Yeah.
Right.
and like you might have got lucky,
Mhm.
right? You might have got lucky, and
Yeah.
some people got lucky and they struck
Yeah.
rich. But everyone's trying to jump on the train now.
Yeah. But
you know?
I didn't like that. Now, before you could do instant deposits, and now they're not giving you your instant deposits. Now they're taking forever to approve your account. So they're really gatekeeping this out.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? They're really stopping. So this week I didn't mess with GameStop because
It was too
I
high for
was
me to jump in.
I missed the mark, so I didn't even want to get involved. But AMC and BlackBerry, they didn't even short. You know, it's not in the 100%. It's not
Mhm.
even close. But on Wall Street Bets, they were talking about both of those. So I
Mhm.
was buying
AMC.
both AMC and BlackBerry. But I don't do what everyone does. I don't hold. I get 10% wins. So I was, I bought,
When
BlackBerry.
you were up 10%, you sold. Right?
Correct. And I just keep redoing that.
Mhm.
So I make maybe $200, $300 a day, and I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my strategy. But the problem is freaking these apps. I got into Dogecoin because on Wall Street Bets, Marcus can talk about this in a minute.
Yeah.
Everyone was rallying Dogecoin. Crypto is completely different than stock
Mm-hmm.
because the pool is not limited like it
Mhm.
is. There's no really outside influences. It's completely
Dogecoin
different.
isn't limited, but
No, that's what I'm saying.
Bitcoin is limited.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Crypto is completely different than
Yeah.
stocks. So it's a lot more volatile, but
Mhm.
everyone on Wall Street Bets was going crazy about Dogecoin.
Mm-hmm.
So I was making easy money. I was making easy money on Dogecoin, but freaking Robinhood, up to its antics, is blocking you from selling Dogecoin. It's canceling my orders, my sales that go through. So it's just
Here's the thing with Robinhood. They're losing a lot of money because they're propped up by these hedge funds that are losing lots of money.
they had to borrow.
So I think this is just kind of a theory of, I guess it's just a theory, that I think that it's cheaper for them to fight lawsuits.
Absolutely.
So they much rather just shut
Than to
it
give
down
up all
and
the
screw
money.
you and fight you on the lawsuits or how many lawsuits they get than lose the billions that they're losing.
For
So
sure.
it doesn't matter to them. Like they know what they're doing is probably they're going to lose. They're probably going to lose in court. They know that. I think that they will, obviously. But that doesn't matter to them. They know that those losses are going to be much smaller
Yeah.
than the losses they would get from what's going on right now with
Right.
the shenanigans.
Yeah.
you
I would
know?
just hope that that in the losses that there's some new rules or regulations that are created that would prevent this type of thing. Because I mean, it's like literally like the app, the way stocks getting traded was literally changing, by the
the
hour.
second.
Like, in the morning, I hear, oh, Dogecoin is gonna go up. Like everybody jumping to Dogecoin. Elon Musk tweets Dogecoin. Okay, bet. So I do my instant deposit of $50 or whatever, and I try to buy Dogecoin with my instant deposit. There's a limit. Never had a limit before on how much I could admit to do with my instant deposit, but I'm limited to $25 is the max I can do, and then they take a couple of change from that or whatever. So to buy cryptocurrency, so all I can put in is $24.99 in Dogecoin, to get my 1,000 shares or whatever.
Mhm.
Within 2 hours, they made it so you could not use instant deposit. You had to use actual cash that was already in your Robinhood account to purchase any cryptocurrency, Bitcoin or Dogecoin. So at that point now, you've totally gimped it. So nobody who's just seeing this can jump in now. So you had to have had money already in some other stocks, maybe sold those stocks,
Mhm.
and then invested that in Dogecoin to be able to come up. So that's already kind of WTF. Then on top of that, now I don't know if this is because the app has never experienced this much traffic at one time or whatnot, but they were making it so the stocks are
They
down
probably
right
haven't
now.
experienced this much,
You
but
can't
yeah.
sell or do anything like that
Same maintenance
until
during the
a
day.
certain time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, you
so-
can't sell this until 250.
All
It's
of a
like,
sudden
what?
now it's like I can't make normal transactions that I've been making. So we'll try to chalk that up to it being that there was so much traffic on the app, and this is literally the only app that carries Dogecoin that you can purchase off of. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But then, I was hearing that like at the end of the night when they closed the market, that I think like around like 1 or 2 in the morning or something like that, they just start cashing people out of their Dogecoin. So like if you had 1,000 shares of Dogecoin or whatever, they were just cashing you out at whatever it was at that time. Like, oh, sorry, this is too much of a gamble, so we closed out your account and paid you out. So you got money in your account. And it's like, if I didn't want to sell this, you know what I mean? If I wanted to hold this, you've no longer given me that opportunity.
But I mean, you're using a third-party application, Robinhood. It's not like the open stock market. You can still buy Dogecoin and that stuff if you call like a stockbroker and you physically went and did that.
And what sucks
yeah,
too,
but we're talking about the average Joe.
I know, but the average Joe doesn't
Yeah.
know how to play with the stocks.
Right.
And Robinhood was a way for the average Joe to play in the stocks. But for that benefit, you make yourself susceptible to their wins.
And I don't recommend anyone download Robinhood. I only used it because you could buy Dogecoin. For some reason, all the other apps you can't get Dogecoin, so I had to get that one. So if you comment in the comment section below if you know where else you can get Dogecoin. But anyways, for me, I was just buying and selling, making my I would drop 500 into it. 3 minutes later, I would sell. I made $100. Then I'll drop 600 into it, sell. So I'm up to 800 or 780 bucks on Dogecoin. I buy it, I go to sell it, and it's canceling my sale. It's like, your sale has been canceled. I'm like, what the heck? Your sale has been canceled. And then it locks my funds up. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go to sleep. I set my trigger, so if it goes up to a certain amount, it sells it for me automatically in my sleep.
It's one thing for them to block GameStop because the money that they're losing on the hedge funds through shorting, but Doge wasn't shorted.
No.
Yeah, you can't short crypto.
So that's the thing that's weird. So my mind jumps to, I don't know if it's like a server, like a hardware problem, or like what you're saying. Like, I don't know if it's just because like when Walmart got destroyed, or when that stuff happens, I don't know if it's like a mechanical server software issue, or if there's this nefarious, desire to prevent you from making money. We want to make money, but we
here's
want to
the thing.
prevent you from making money. I don't know.
The very next day,
I can see it being the latter though.
the very next day, they released a whole list saying these are the stocks that you can't trade. And then throughout the day, they're like, okay, now you can buy one GameStop stock a day. It's like,
funny.
what the?
Yeah,
playing
GameStop,
with
I
it.
get.
And
yeah.
then there's a whole list. AMC.
No, I'm saying GameStop I get.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can understand the GameStop. It's the other ones that I can't get. I'm trying to understand.
So like
why.
throughout the
Yeah.
day, they're just shutting things down. Like, hey, you can't trade this. You can't trade this on Robinhood, of course. I use other applications for stocks, but for Robinhood, I got
Because there's
Dogecoin.
going to be a lot of people that get screwed.
There were a lot.
There's going to be
There's
a lot of
tons,
people because nothing can hold value. Everything goes up and up. I mean, everyone's not going to keep buying into it. If GameStop gets to be $1,000 a share, people are going to keep buying it at $1,000. I mean,
Well, the hedge funds have to. But yeah.
the hedge funds have to pay back, all that money and the interest.
Yep.
Because when you borrow stock, you owe
Pay
interest,
interest.
too.
Yep.
So not only do you have to pay back the stock, but you have to pay back the interest on top of it, which is why shorting is so stupid. Because when you normally buy a stock, the most you can lose is 0. Right? If I spend $100 on a stock and the company tanks, the most I lose is my 100. But while shorting, you can infinitely lose. You can go
more.
negative because of
Yeah.
the interest and stuff. And if you can never pay it back, the interest keeps growing, and it's infinite losses.
Well, I mean, just with this GameStop play, I think 3 companies went bankrupt. They immediately called to hit the bankrupt button on their thing.
Yeah.
So, I'm obviously they're not broke. They're just using that to like get out of
They
that
bought out
debt,
by
and
somebody
then
else.
they still got all the money in their pockets. They'll come right back in and be back up and going. But at least it
bankruptcy
messed with
launch,
them a little bit, and it's on their account. But I
Yeah.
mean, I like that there was some challenging going on there. Obviously, we have to find something that will allow the average person to still be able to enjoy stocks without getting randomly limited because you say so. You know what I mean? Because I'm using your app and you don't like how I'm profiting or whatever, or you don't like
We
the
don't know
game that's
reasons, but
played.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I do know that Webull is a good app, and
That's the one I
that
use.
one
It's the best.
I've heard lots of recommendations for Webull, and then they were also still allowing GME AMC, BlackBerry trades going on at the same time that Robinhood was stopping. Only problem is that they don't have anything like Dogecoin. I think they have Bitcoin, and maybe like a couple of other coins.
On how big the app is used. Like, should it fall under like federal law and regulation and constitutional rights? Like, because right now it isn't. You know, companies have complete autonomy. Everything, Twitter, all sorts of services do have complete autonomy to, you know, do whatever they want to do to you. Shut your account down, shut your Robinhood account down, shut your Twitter account down. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I do think like once a company gets to be large enough, it should fall under the umbrella of like constitutional rights. It should fall under that because they end up becoming such large open forums that they become more of like a utility rather than a, you know, service. Like I think Twitter's hit that point. I think Facebook's hit that point. I'm sure some of these stock apps are going to be getting to that point. At what point? What is it? 100 million, 50 million? I don't know at what point, but at some point they become so large that I think they become more of a utility and something people should just have open use to without any fear of anything hurting them. Than having the company have complete autonomy, right? Because they have too much power.
Yeah,
I mean, I think we saw that. I mean, whether you agree or not, like with the shutting down of like the president's account, the ability to just do that is incredible to me. You know, that they have the power to do that, whether or not you think he should have been or not. That a company just has the ability, right, to silence the government.
Well, they do it.
Incredible to me.
I mean, they're just silencing like anybody. I mean, you post anything on Twitter or something like that somebody may have found offensive or broke the violations, right? They have the rules there, so you know those rules would get your shit. You know,
but they are very selective. They are very selective on who they silence because there's lots of people that violate the terms of service that don't get shut down.
There's definitely a lot that don't get spotted, but if they do get reported, they will get taken down.
And there's lots that get spotted that don't get taken down. Many.
I don't know. I don't know if they're getting spotted and
violation that are still up to this very day.
But yeah,
many tweets. And so what I'm saying is, I'm just talking about the general notion of them being able to shut you down, even if you're saying something mean to people. I just don't see any whatever. Let people be mean to each other. Like, I think we need to act when people do something wrong, but people just talking, I don't think that any corporation, I don't care who they are, Twitter, Facebook, who they are, should have the ability to shut you down or shut me down or shut anybody down for speaking whatever they say or believe. And I think that's a problem, and I think it's a problem here with Robinhood that they're shutting people down for whatever reason. I don't think they should shut anyone down unless they're actually doing something illegal or wrong. Then I think they should be shut down. But otherwise, no.
I thought it was interesting that some of these, I don't know, they call them fat cats or whatever from the hedge funds. They're saying that the average Joe needs to get locked up because we're committing crimes. I'm like, really? We're committing crimes? We're marketing. How am I marketing manipulating? Going on Reddit, some guy's like, hey, buy this stock. It's like if you go play a game and you're like, hey, go play this game.
And then the game sells like millions of copies.
It's like
because everybody got together and bought the game.
You can't control if everyone does it.
No,
like you can go on there and you can say something, and they do that all the time. They went on there and they started to they talk about the doom and gloom, right? These hedge fund guys, they go on CNN or whatever the news, and they talk about how something's tanking, it's going to go down.
Panic.
They're making panic. They're manipulating too. Like, how is it any different than Wall Street Bets going on there and saying, "Hey, let's all together go and buy this," right?
Yeah, dude. It's just
everyone's talking and doing that.
But you know, power to the players. You know, GameStop. Shout out to that saying because I think the company is gonna tank, but this has nothing to do with the company. You know what I mean? This has.
How do you think GameStop feels?
They feel great, dude. They've been tweeting like, "Hey, you know,
dude,
I
hope
let's go."
Can they do something with this money?
Like they're a meme.
Can they do something with this money? Like, does this put more money in their pocket?
So, essentially, the people who own GameStop, they have shares and whatnot. So their shares are worth a lot more. So they could technically,
but does GameStop own any of their own shares?
Once it tanks.
Does GameStop own any of the shares?
Well,
I think
GameStop is only made up of people.
It's made up of people, like the board or whatever.
But I think what you mean is does
Like-
GameStop itself become valuable? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I'm just
Like
trying
the
to say.
company,
I'm
like
just
the-
trying to
the
say.
store-
Yeah.
Are they able to leverage any of this in the short term? And like, hey, what
I
can
don't
we do,
think
guys?
so.
It's not the
because-
short term. It's basically like once their market price or whatever is once their stock has risen to a certain point and then it stays like that for a certain period, then their market value has increased. So their cap has increased and whatnot. So I think maybe that's got something to do with like credit or something that they could use that.
Yeah, credit is
I don't
probably a
know.
great one. It's probably
But-
Marcus. You're probably right. It's probably they can borrow more. They become more of a
being able to do
solvent
more
company.
and be able to
But-
move around.
But yeah, I don't think because this is more of an artificial rise. I mean, markets are supposed to determine actual value of a company. Of course, in a lot of ways, it doesn't, like we're talking about right now with all the manipulation.
Mhm.
But and this is also it's manipulation in the sense that it's artificial, right? GameStop isn't rising in price because of its value; it's rising in price because everyone's banding
situation.
together, yeah,
But
and
that's
raising the price.
but I mean essentially that's kind of like, you know, what people deem it like, you know, if we all deem that this is valuable, right? I'm going to buy some of it, and because a bunch of people thought it was valuable, they bought more of it.
yeah, but
it
we're not
increased the value on
we're
it.
not seeing the value because GameStop is valuable.
Yeah.
Mark, I think Mark knows what I'm
There
saying.
are
We
there are
see the
some people
value
who are
because-
holding the GameStop because they believing in GameStop. And then there's the millions of people who are just putting in the GameStop because they want to profit from
Right.
GameStop. So
Right.
yeah,
That's my
there
point.
are the
Yeah.
people who do value GameStop,
GameStop
and see it.
in and
I
of
see
its-
GameStop as kind of cheaters and like
Yeah.
you know vultures of the gaming
Irony.
community
Yeah.
and whatnot. And I feel like there can be a lot of things that they should change, you know, to make, you know, things more valuable to the gamers and not just trying to go for pure profit. You know,
yeah, but
another
that,
thing
that
is
falls
like,
on
you know,
us to not go there any longer,
Yeah.
right?
right?
And they're hurting from it because their business model's failing.
Which is why they were at
which is why they're
$15,
tanking, and which is why I
you know,
agree with
per
Mark that I
stock.
think they will tank, and I think the shorters were right. It was going to hit zero at some point in time.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
it's not now. It's been delayed, and they can't hemorrhage forever. They don't have infinite money, and so they will lose. But a lot of people will too, because a lot of people who bought in above $100 or whatever at what point are going to lose a lot of money too. But it's like Mark's saying, you know,
If you bought in
losing
above 100, you
500
lost.
or whatever across millions of people is nothing,
Nothing,
compared
yeah.
to losing all your wealth at once. You know,
Yeah.
and so.
Yeah, but I think it was a very interesting time. I think this day will go down in history.
Dude, this is-
GameStop is going to be historic
Yeah.
for all the wrong reasons.
I was cracking up, man. I was watching because everyone's live streaming it and watching it,
Mhm.
and one guy was like, people are always talking like, "Is it too late to invest in Radio Shack?"
Bring Radio Shack back from the
yeah,
dead,
can I
bro.
invest in Radio
Dude.
Shack? I'm flying Radio Shack to the moon.
Dang, everyone
yeah.
jump in. Radio check 1 penny. 1 penny.
But
Man.
the company's gone already. But
Yeah,
you know what I
but-
mean? Like, it's just funny,
Dude.
man.
But I tell you what, like I just recently started investing in stocks and stuff like that, like literally this year, you
Mhm.
know, month of January. But that was probably the most fun I had just yesterday playing with Dogecoin
Yeah.
and just, you know, like I bought some and then I just let it sit to see how long it would go and where it would go. You know what I mean? Just because, you know, I'm just in it for the ride. You know, it's like they're literally like pennies. Yeah, I came in at like 2 cents a share. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's like going
Dude, it
going
wasn't
to the
long
table
ago-
and betting blackjack $25. You know what I mean?
yeah,
like, I
long
lose
ago-
that. I
yeah,
lose
I
it.
know. Everyone
You know
was
what I mean?
playing.
It's
It's like I
whatever.
said, it's like Vegas.
Yeah,
But there
and it
was
was
a
so
time
low.
when Dogecoin was like what 1/millionth of a
Point
penny.
zero zero
Yeah,
zero zero.
it was worth like 1/millionth of a penny. Imagine if you bought then.
Hey,
dude.
There was
Like-
people that there was a lot
You
of
could buy
people
a
that
lot
were
of
talking
Dogecoin,
about
but-
that they had just bought Dogecoin just cause,
It was,
and like they were able to capitalize on this little rise
Because it peaked
to
at 8 cents.
Dude, you could have bought 1,000,000 Doge
8
for like
cents.
$1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and then like it hits $1.
Now you're a millionaire.
Right now you're a millionaire. like people are wondering if it'll hit $1, but I mean,
Nah, I think
I
it
was
peaked-
hoping it looked
It
like
peaked,
it.
it peaked
it-
at 8 cents.
yeah. The problem is it's
But
an
I
infinite
think it-
currency.
I think it could
That's the
have.
problem.
I think it could have hit that dollar or at least 50 cents if they hadn't started doing that
Oh, yeah.
limited
Oh, yeah.
buy.
Robinhood
Where you
really
couldn't even
messed up.
do, you know, because Robinhood bottlenecked it. So like you couldn't even put any new money into your account and then start to buy the currency with that.
Yeah, I think there has to be something else there other than them just wanting to keep you from making money, because it doesn't matter. A lot of people are going to lose money. Like you let people buy it up. Like
Right.
there's going to be a lot of people who lose money. On
That's
that,
what I'm
on
saying.
that
It's like
gamble.
normal
it doesn't matter,
like stocks
you
and
know?
crypto. That's
Yeah, it
that's
doesn't
how it
matter,
is.
you
It
know?
should have
Let
been
people
left
buy it
alone.
up,
Yeah,
you know,
it
'cause
should've-
people will lose the money, have to pay it back, and It's gonna go like this no matter what you do.
And
you
what
know?
what I don't get is like at the end of the day, right? Every cryptocurrency transaction that you make, they take a small percentage of it. So they made
Right, they
money
make
off
money,
of
which is
every
why I don't think
purchase
it's necessarily
and sell
nefarious.
of
I think there's something on
cryptocurrency.
the back end that's making it difficult for them.
So
And it's not Robinhood. You know, they have a
yeah, it's Apex
It's
Holdings.
it's
Citadel
owned by a
or
couple
whatever,
of
right?
Nah, theirs is
different
the
Apex.
companies.
middleman who does the trading for them.
There's 2 or 3
Not who
brokerages that
owns
they work.
them, but
There's like
who
2
does
or
the-
3.
There's something there.
who
Citadel
does
was
the middle,
something in
yeah,
there, yeah,
Citadel is
somewhere.
one of the ones that does some
Yeah.
of the middle groundwork,
Right.
and they may not be able to. I mean, who knows? I don't know. It is ironic though, right? An app named Robinhood.
It's not
It's
giving
not
to the
really
poor.
Robinhood, yeah.
He's not giving
Dude.
to the poor. He's
Yeah.
just
Dude.
stealing.
Yeah.
But-
But that day, the day after, Robinhood borrowed like $1 billion to try to make sure that they had enough to
Pay out.
process these transactions.
Yeah, I think that's a problem, right? There's probably more problems. It's probably more. That's what I mean. More nuanced than just they want to make us lose, right?
You know they catching all that on the back end from them dummies that shorted GameStop.
Oh, and they are. Yeah,
They getting all
Yeah.
that money
Yeah.
back from them.
they're getting hit
But
hard.
yeah, I guess maybe they were trying to stop the bleeding, but it's like, come on, man, you're in this business for this stuff. So
Yeah.
why wouldn't you just
Business as
you
usual.
see the market
They're
going
making
that
money
way, you
too.
just
Yeah.
put your money into it too and watch that
Mhm.
rise with them. Like, hey, dude, run this
Mhm.
shit up. Let me throw mine in Dogecoin too. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Robinhood has just invested $45 billion in Dogecoin. You know what I mean? Like, they could play with that stuff too.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's insider trading if they're the brokers and they're trading their own money, but
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I don't know. that
shouts
way.
out to everybody who decided to play around in the Dogecoin
The
game.
Dogecoin game.
If you were one of the ones who got in at the low point for GameStop, kudos to you. I saw that and I didn't jump in when it was 20 because I was like, oh, I ain't even got it. I didn't have it. If I had just gotten the 20, I would have loved to have
Few
sold at
$100,
400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it peaked real high. But yeah, so I mean, that's all we got for you
Yeah,
this
that's all we
week.
got.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Click that thumbs up button. Maybe down in the comments, tell us if you won some money from Dogecoin, or maybe if you started your investment venture with all this hoopla and stuff like that. Because I feel like everybody and their mom did something with this. You know, it was
Yeah.
just too easy.
A lot, millions and millions of people, man.
Yeah. So you know what I mean. So, yeah. But until next time, we'll catch you guys later. Deuces.
Peace.